the door until it just popped open, or did you just twist the knob until it forced open, or what did you
Uh,
do?
I probably just got the biggest hammer I could find and just smacked the handle until it came loose.
Okay, so the door has no handle. The handle is broken beyond repair. Um, at least beyond casual repair. Maybe if you have tinker's tools or locksmith, maybe no, not even locksmithing. Lock-picking tools would fix this. So yeah, you'd need like tinker's tools to fix these at this point. Um, but yeah, the first mate's room is open.
This is my room now.
All right.
I claim it as my own and I piss on the floor. I'm just kidding.
That's disgusting.
All right. You may keep a poor lifestyle at half price.
Okay, so it's gonna be 7 silver, 5 copper, right?
Yeah.
And that's gonna be for how many nights?
Well, you guys have been here for 5. You're expected to stay a few more. I would call it a week. And I feel like that is the easiest way to go about it. Unless you guys want to pay for 8 days.
No, week's gonna.
For the benefit of Scarlet and Alien, what I'm also doing is using just Earth Calendar. Because I don't feel like I'm going to shake up the way calendars work to the point where it's worth making a new one. So that is just a heads up. No, because again, I don't believe that if I'm not making a significant change to the way the calendar works, I don't feel like I need to go through and scrape the serial numbers off of everything.
Could we as a party offer names?
Sure. If you would like to rename at any point, I am game to hear it. Just so you know, it is nearing the end of summer. It is August 24th, currently.
No, it's not. It's July
in
7th.
game it is. Just real. The game is always set to whatever date we're playing.
It's been 3 days in this dungeon. Well, no, it's been 1 actually.
We've been here for weeks. No, it's
the same day. Same day we went in.
Yeah. I like the idea you go into the dungeon and you come out like years older, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, it was a real rough time in there. You got some lines you didn't go in with, but like, you got something this morning. Did you want something today?" Yeah, weird time distortion dungeons.
Oh, but yeah, vigilante justice after I cash in on this bounty.
What is vigilante justice?
I got their smell, Blight.
Ah, okay.
I'm going to find them.
Okay.
I sniffing all up some rich people.
Alrighty.
I'm sure they won't mind, right?
No, that's typically not social.
You're not exactly. So, let's put it this way. Give me a general charisma check.
They don't like the flies.
Is he actually snorting people right now?
He's like, I wouldn't say he's nose to the ground. Not the worst. Not the worst. He's not like actively face into the dirt, sniffing the ground, but he's walking around making like big sniffs, going up to like doors and sniffing at the handles and stuff. It's weird.
Basically feral.
He's been living a poor lifestyle, so he's like a little dirty. He doesn't look like he belongs here.
Oh, by the way, guys, can I use a bit of the just a little bit, like maybe 1 or 2 gold off of the bounty to survive? I don't have money.
So if I was to make a suggestion from a gameplay standpoint, money from jobs, you may want to divide in like half goes to ship coffer and then half is split amongst the crew. Might just be a good general rule or some percentage like that.
I was just figuring that the 200 should probably just all go in because it's a good chunk and we can get some decent crew with it.
Like I said, your guys' choice, but it might be good to come up with a general rule for what you guys do with money you get from jobs.
That's fair.
So, like, since we're, like, staying here for a couple of days, basically, until we go off to sneak off, is there, like, any odd jobs that I could do?
Yeah.
Specifically for a
Join me in
druid?
vigilante justice.
You can easily get a job that'll pay you 2 silver a day. Depending on expertises you may have, you may be able to get better work. Like tool proficiencies or that kind of thing may be able to get you some better paying work.
An
I
expert
have a
cook.
herbalism kit.
Wait, can I do that too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it too, actually.
I love money.
We're like money.
So, let me take a look at something here real quick, and I will tell you. What's up?
I do have a herbalism kit, so.
Yeah. So you would probably get work as like maybe making some poultices here or prescribing things for illnesses or something like that, right? Like a kind of not kind of. You would be essentially like an alley doctor. Because you don't have your own building to practice in, so it would very much be an alley doctor.
Get some work with the dwarf that likes you. He might pay you extra. You might simp. Let him simp for money.
My character already is really shitty with like social cues, which is why she did that last time. Because she did that. She's listened. She's been in the woods by herself, like with an old abusive dude. So like she has no idea what's going on. She's just like, oh, he's being friendly. Okay, cool. That's cool. So yeah. She's a little stupid sometimes. It's fine. But no, I'm not doing that. And I'd probably, honestly, even though, like, it wouldn't give me much money, probably go work on, like, the poor side of town to, like, help out the more unfortunate, that can't afford, like, the actual apothecaries and things like that.
Okay. Then you would definitely be getting a poor level of living. They can't pay you much.
Yeah.
But you, I would say you are making a name for yourself for doing this kind of thing. The word is getting out that you're not a witch, that you are in fact a very generous healer.
Yay! I'm undoing what Big was started doing, little goblin shit.
I'm back. Sorry.
What about everyone else who is attempting to do some work?
I'd probably go check out if any of the alchemist shops need help.
I do
Okay.
be working at the library, though.
Oh, I would like to see if I can help with any smithies.
All right.
And I'm gonna head towards the quarantine zone.
Nice. Anything in particular you're looking to do out there?
We'll see.
Okay. Well, let's get some of the more harmless things out of the way.
Life's like, fuck.
But you guys would probably still be in the range of So there are. This is a town essentially run by the guilds, and not being part of the guilds while doing these works is going to get you not the best of standing relationship with them.
I think something my dick.
Yeah, you're working where they don't anyway, so they don't give a fuck. But
Well, if I find out that the guilds are in charge, I would probably go try to see if I can get in with them.
okay, yeah.
I'm gonna fuck up the guilds. They're not helping the poor. You can suck my dick.
I would probably do the same. A happy wallet's a happy life.
By the way, how much am I getting paid per day for the work?
How much are you getting paid? You again making a poor enough to survive a poor living, so 2 silver a day.
All right, good. 2. So since we're only doing like 2 days here.
At this point, yeah, you would be working for about 2 days. But the so for the blacksmithing work, what is your total bonus for your black strength plus proficiency bonus? Or rather, I would probably just go off your proficiency bonus. So I'm attempting to put you in, like, if you're a journeyman, craftsman, artisan, master, or grandmaster in terms of skill. I would probably slap you guys in the journeyman because you probably all still have +2 proficiency bonus. So.
For using my alchemist supplies, I get a bonus of 5.
Okay.
I have smith tools as well.
Yeah. So I will say you guys can both make a modest living if you're willing to sign up with the guilds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't open the costs for
It's
me.
not well with the guild.
The initial so initially signing up with the guilds is going to cost 10 gold.
Oh.
I'll be back
Wait.
later.
Hold on. Blake, are the guilds like Mr. Worldwide on this continent? Are they like everywhere or?
In this particular town, it is much more enforced than it is. Like, this town is again run by the guilds, so they are a much more present force. But you will find that the church is the really only large organization that spans across multiple cities. But what you can get is you can get a kind of church authorized guild pass that shows that, like, in your town you are part of this guild, and that they will allow it to be semi-transferred.
Okay.
It won't, like, if you sign up and advance in a town, you'll have, like, authority at that guild, and that authority won't transfer cross town, but you can still work and make the same, like, wage in another town. You just won't be able to boss people around unless
Just
you
because
have
of the influencer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're essentially acting as like a middleman to verify skill.
Okay, yeah, that's actually great. And then I'll be able to pay a modest living, right? Off of that.
Mhm.
Okay, sure. Let me just subtract 3 more gold.
All right. And go ahead and mark somewhere on your character that you are listed as a journeyman smith.
Quick question.
Hmm.
So are we assuming that we already turned in the bounty or now?
Yes.
No, wait, no. I was gonna say I would feel more comfortable not, like, I'm okay to go and try and turn in the bounty, but I would feel more comfortable because I don't remember 100% saying that. I would feel more comfortable not having that personally. And for my own integrity purposes, I'm pretty sure I did, but I don't remember 110%, and that's a big deal for me.
All right. I mean, yeah, it's up to you guys. I just personally didn't remember hearing it, but there's plenty of times where you guys have said stuff that I don't remember. And I'm not out here thinking you guys are always trying to get one up me with things, so.
And I specifically am not.
Yep. So whatever you guys feel comfortable going with.
If you tell me about the bounty, I will happily ride with you to find out if they will accept testimony of such.
Could you go back and look at the video from last session to try to see if you said that?
I mean,
that's-
not right now, mostly because the session's going.
Yeah, and it also doesn't. It's not a big enough deal. Like we should be able to just discuss these things. And,
Yeah. So I will say, if you guys want to go as if you had no proof, you'll need to give me a persuasion roll.
Sure.
They're not going to burn a zone of truth on you guys, unless you pay for it. But they're not going to just burn that level of magic to verify this. You will have to convince them.
How much though?
I would say, let's see. See if there's anyone who's like mapped out how much someone should charge for different spell levels. No. So Prayer of Healing at second level is a second level spells look to cost about 40 gold.
Oh, fuck.
So it'd take a cut out of what you guys are getting, for sure. But you would still be net positive. And it's an option, assuming you guys fail, right, to persuade them. It's not like they're going to kick you out. This is just to see if you get them on the first run.
Fair enough.
Someone give a persuasion roll. You can either do separate ones or take advantage, because it sounds like both of you are going.
We're rolling for who, how, what?
They're rolling to see if they can persuade that they killed the pirate captain.
The wicked pirate of the West.
Role-playing this, or what are we?
I would just say we're trying to move through it at this point.
All right, I'll give you advantage if I don't count as giving you disadvantage, Mick.
Okay.
All right. You're looking to beat a 15.
Advantage. Persuasion. What is it? Wait, there it is. Give it a minute. Aha!
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You show kind of like some of the scars you've got from the recent fight that are still healing. You've magically recovered to the best of your ability, but there's still faint scars that are there. That you show. It's like, yeah, this I got. It's healed up a bit, but And they look over your story and go with you to port to check out like the damage on your ship to make sure that was a real part of your story. And yeah, they believe you, and they hand over the bounty. They're still going to. They do ask you what happened with the rest of the pirates.
It was basically fought to a standstill, and with their captain dead, they wanted nothing more with us, and we, as you can see, our ship was in no situation to argue.
Yeah, they take that for what it is. It's a reasonable excuse. Yes. And yeah, they hand you over the bounty with the stipulation that should this ship show up with a captain who matches these descriptions later, your names will be put on the board as well. Nothing to worry about because your job. Yeah, nothing to worry about because the job was actually done, but that is like we trust but verify.
All right.
All right.
Bring her rotted head on a pike neck.
And Josh, did you sign up with the guild as well, or?
I have enough gold right now, but I was going to see if I could make a deal with them where I could pay them half my pay until I could pay them off.
Okay. Yeah, that's not unreasonable. Who bounced? Oh, Napakun is back. That's not unreasonable.
And then if I have that amount of gold, I could just pay them outright the rest.
Yeah. They're willing to go with that.
Right, awesome.
You will, if you leave town, you'll be required to mail it back to them. And if they don't get those payments, eventually they'll revoke your license. But go ahead and put yourself as a journeyman alchemist as well. All right.
And how much is that paying a day?
It is paying enough for a modest living.
Modest.
So 1 gold
Wait,
a day.
is this the whole party?
1 gold a day? Alright.
Yeah.
So I would give them 5 silver a day. And then
Yeah.
Perfect. And we're going to be here for 2 more days?
Yeah. So,
This is the whole party, right?
this is the whole party, yes.
So there's 6 of us. I just wanted to see what would be the best way of, well, we already have 120, so we may as well just throw in 80 of the 200 and then 120, split that up amongst
don't
us, 20
split it
gold
with
to
me,
each
though.
of us. Oh, why not?
Because I wasn't here yet.
Oh,
I
I
don't
guess that's
think
fair.
if there's anything, allow this, as it was my action, to go straight to the ship and not to individuals.
I was going to say 20 gold to each of us, so
Uh,
then,
I would rather just give it all to the ship.
so, well, I mean, the thing is I kind of need a bit, to live right now. This,
I understand that, as do we all, but the action in question wasn't really taken by you, and should therefore be. I believe we assigned somebody to watch the money for that purpose, did we not?
Sorry?
I believe we assigned somebody to watch the money for that purpose, did we not?
well, yeah, but he's sleeping out in the church.
Then go to the church.
I broke into his room, so I had a place to sleep,
If he's
or a
sleeping in the
decent place to
church,
sleep.
if he's sleeping in the church, I do not think he begrudges you sleeping in his room.
The thing is, he took the key and he locked the door because he probably knew that I was gonna do this.
I locked
You
the
do-
door. Well, actually, you wouldn't know anything.
He's getting a bunch of lice in your sheets. It's not going to be
Yeah,
pretty when you get
I'm-
back.
I'm gonna know who was in there.
This smell like dogs
Listen,
when you go
we-
back.
We all need money, but
It's
we
his
are
fault for
all
locking it.
we are all part of the same group. Yeah.
Big, when I get back, we're gonna talk about finances, and we're gonna talk about how you're going to have to pay for that door.
So, it sounds like everyone's getting 20 gold except for the 2 who are giving up their share. So to the ship goes 120. Is someone keeping do you need a notepad for ship inventory? Whoever wants to keep a hold of that?
I'll do it. I'll do
info?
it.
Who was giving up their
Okay.
share?
You're going to be. I think ship treasury is a notepad that everyone
Yeah,
has
it is.
access
It
to.
is already a thing.
Creature
So go-
templates.
Yeah, go ahead and
Who was giving up their share?
you
Josh.
and Josh.
I wasn't. I was saying all 200 gold should go to the ship.
Ah,
Oh.
I disagree because I need money.
You disagree because you need money, but
Wait. Other
It-
than the
the-
person who said they don't want the money, how many people want the money?
like we all need
So
money.
put
but
it-
the point of the
I know
matter-
we all need money, yes.
yeah.
let's put it to vote. Who thinks who thinks there should be some money divvied out to everyone versus who thinks everything should go to the ship? Put 1 in the chat if you think everything to the ship. 2 if you think some to people.
I will say I was the one that actually committed the action.
But you are part of a crew that is a democracy. So
Since you have chosen that yourself.
Yeah.
all right,
Uh,
one more vote to put everything to the ship, and you're good.
Oh, is the captain here, by the way?
Yeah, Scarlet
Uh,
should probably vote.
Scarlet, you gonna vote on this?
And we still need Josh, it looks like.
Oh. No. Well, what's one? What's two?
1 is everything to the ship. 2 is some to, most to the ship, and the rest split among the party.
If I could suggest, I would say maybe it could.
Well, like, here's the thing. Just because it goes to the ship doesn't mean the ship can't then give him a payout to live and not be in a dog shit situation.
That's a guess one.
That was my whole thought process there.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Well, that's why I'm just getting my payment now. What's the point of waiting?
Because we never know when the ship might need that money.
It's
Alright.
true.
So the vote is gone. let's try and move past it. Big, how much do you need for a week at half price of poor conditions? Is going to be, you need about a 7 silver.
Poor conditions? Like
He's staying in the, he's essentially staying in like a 1 room with a hammock bed. Like got a table next to him, but it's not amazing conditions, right?
Yeah.
He's not in the main crew quarters, but
Well, we can. I would say we could get it to him. To be modest, it would be we need him at his best.
I mean, if you want to fund a little extra more, but this is like he's not bathing because there's no like shower on the ship. He's eating bare minimum to save money, so on and so forth.
This is me just trying to work with what I got, and you trying to deny me that.
I'm trying to give you a modest lifestyle here, buddy. You want to fight about it?
He didn't even need my room, and
That's
he
not what
broke
it
into it.
sounded like.
Did I not just say we should be able to fund him for a modest? Is
You
that
did
not
just
is
say
that
that.
not what I
That's
just said?
what you just said. That's what you just said. That's not
Just
what
because
you
I
said a
didn't
minute
think
ago.
you should take 20 gold to try and live in a poor lifestyle over 4 gold to live in a modest, doesn't mean I think
I'll
you
say-
shouldn't get money.
If you want to fund him a modest lifestyle, with him staying there, it'll cost you 8 silver a day. So
Yeah, so like
8 times
all in
7,
all, the ship still makes more.
5.6 gold.
And we are all in a better situation as well in case of necessity.
So in that case, I'll go ahead and give up my 3 gold, 6 silver, which is all my gold, and all but 1 of my silver, and the ship can pay for the rest.
What is the rest?
He said that that's how much it would cost you, and that's how much it
Does
costs the
anyone?
ship.
I'll be right
Did
back.
anyone keep track of how much got added after selling gems?
I
After selling gems,
I think that's Blade.
Yeah, because it was not added into the treasury. At least I don't see it.
yes, let me.
You're gonna
check.
want to keep like a gold count in the
I'm
treasury.
pretty sure I have a.
Not a very good
File.
treasurer, I see.
Well, you're not a very good person breaking into my home.
You're the one who locked it.
Yeah, pissing off the guy
For
who
reasons is high.
controls the money flow doesn't seem like.
The other thing that the
said that it
treasurer
was
is probably going to.
Hold
What's
on,
up?
you said it was like 120 gold for the gems?
I don't remember. That was your guys' job to keep track.
He's also self-appointed. That doesn't seem very democratic.
I don't think it was self-appointed if the captain said so.
Yeah, it was 120 from.
So somewhere among your guys' character sheets is probably the gems that you guys grabbed, either
Isn't
in
it
the.
donkey?
It might be in the donkeys.
It was not on me. I can say that much.
It's not.
It's not in Stubby. It's not
There
on me.
is diamonds on one of them worth 50 gold. On Stubby
I thought we were like
has
splitting it.
nothing on it.
Yeah.
So all I see is the diamonds, but there should have been amethysts and rubies in there as well.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a total of 120 gold.
I thought
Yeah.
it was 100,
Because-
but
No, it was 120 because what he could have gotten if he didn't roll like his charisma check was base 120. If he rolled higher on the charisma check, he could have gotten 200 for it.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it was lower, I would have gotten less.
Okay,
Yeah.
so go ahead and put that the ship should have 120 plus 200 minus, we'll say 6.
I'm just saying this should all.
So
Sorry.
that is just so 120
So
plus 200,
42.
314.
Oh wait, no.
314
22,
should be where
right?
it should be.
Or- It's 120 minus. You say 8?
120 minus 6, so
6,
114 plus 200, so
114 plus
314.
200, so 314.
All right.
There we go.
This is all stuff we really need to start taking care of beforehand.
Yeah, no. Once we have this kind of down pat, we can hopefully move through it faster. Next.
So my modest living taken care of, or
Yeah, that is your modest living taken care of. Next, you're as the treasurer. You might also want to put the ship's like rations, supplies, essentially. Go ahead and put supply in there as a thing. And I will say per person per day. Or rather, I'll say for the ship, a supply is going to cost, say, and this is for the crew. This is not per person. This is just everyone on the ship. Supply is going to cost 3 gold a day. Pays for everyone's current wages, as well as the food to feed them and the water and that kind of stuff.
Guys, we should just fuck a ship. Like, we're never gonna be able to
We
afford.
have no
to
other
live.
way to get around.
But we're not even gonna be able to afford to live.
Yeah.
And
The
we should have
idea
supplies
being
because I
that this, the idea being that, like, and I don't know if you and Scarlet were here, I am getting used to, like, awarding the proper amount of money for regular costs. So if it does get bad, I will, like, DM subsidize as we get over this hump.
Okay.
But the, or at least a session or two. But I hope to, like, figure out exactly how much you guys need and, like, ideally, you guys also seek out ways to get money while you travel. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you guys
but,
are
like-
low-level people. You shouldn't have the money to do a cross-continent journey off the cuff.
No, I get that, but like right now, dude. So right now, the job we could find is a smuggling mission out and back into a town that will take not only running a blockade twice, but require.
we don't need to get back in.
Well, the
But
current job was only that you go there, not that you'd come back.
Okay, sure. So we go there and then we doom an entire town out of miscommunication or something bad happening. Then, like, so feasibly, we should expect to have to run this blockade twice. Each time it takes a week. And I don't think we have the money to operate the ship for 2 weeks at this point before we even get our first paycheck.
That and we're going to be in poor conditions after
Yeah, we're in poor
the
conditions, so we have
first
no
day.
health, no food, no ability to, like, stay up for any considerable amount of time to actually do a job.
Pretty sure my rations would do something about my hunger and thirst, but
I just feel like it's a little harsh, and you may think so, but that all it
Oh,
takes.
for instance, right? 60 gold is what you're going to need for rations and supplies for 20 days. Right?
no.
That
we
easily
already
gets you
have
there
it.
and back. Well, yeah, but saying you're starting with nothing, right? Your ship has 300 gold on it. For 20 days, for almost a month, you just need 60 gold. You're saying you're not going to get 60 gold in
And
a
then
month?
every single person requires a 3 gold thing a day, and then we.
No,
and
that
then
is the ship.
For the whole crew.
Everyone on the ship is 3 golds a day. Like, not each individual person, but the ship as a whole. Like, paying for their food and their wage currently. Well,
Okay, so this was a little bit worse for me in my head because I'm like,
Oh
thought
no,
that
I
was
wasn't like
individual-
3 gold for every
Well-
single, like, all 12 people on the ship or something like that would have been super rough.
But like 3 gold in and of itself is reasonable, because we as a ship have to be paying them a living wage, and 3 gold for everyone on the ship that's not a party member is.
So you have, I think, 5 people on the ship that's not a party member,
which means
right?
that we are putting
So
our
we're
people
saying-
in
Probably between poor and modest.
squalid conditions.
So let's think, right? So if they're being paid about 2 silver a day, say it also takes about 3 silver a day to feed them, right? So we're paying them 5 silver a day. For 5 people, that's about 2.5 gold. 3 gold round up. For like your guys' food, I guess. So it'd probably be closer to like 4 or 5, but we can go for 3 right now until I get a more nailed down system.
Like,
It's
'cause, I mean,
like-
like the entire campaign, I'm gonna be at like 50 or 75% max hit points.
I don't know. I just feel like it sounds like a lot. But when you think
sounds
about
like
it
a
as, like,
lot.
It sounds like a lot, but you don't know how much you're getting for this job, for instance. You haven't heard back on that yet. You don't know what you might find while you're traveling, things you can either scavenge or sell, or ruins you might pilfer, or things like that, right? Like, you have enough money to easily travel for like 3 months. Barring horrible, catastrophic things that you might need to fix the ship for. But, fair weather, you can travel for like months right now. And I think that's
Well,
decent
so
enough cash on you.
I'm also putting this into the context of, so the ship requires considerable amount of money for repairs, which if we're doing anything worth getting money for, we will need repairs. We need more spellcasters, so we need to increase the amount of people on there anyway. Everybody individually will want to upgrade their gear at some point. This is not only counting it, this is yet another thing that will make it even more difficult for spellcasters. Like, at this point, it's basically everyone throws into the ship at the end, like, maybe every once in a while someone gets something, and never play a spellcaster.
We may
Or,
you find things along the way for spellcasters.
Yeah, I personally feel like it's a bit early to be judging whether this is a harsh monetary system or not.
Sure. I'm not, like, I'm giving my critique from what I'm seeing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because if I was Sod in this world, I would not be Sod in this world. Like, I can't use
Sod
magic.
would also have the ability to teleport.
I can't.
so-
Well, no. Like at a low level, I can't use magic in towns. I can't get magic back in like half the zones that we're going to end up going to, and I won't have enough money to actually get better spells to make the little bit of magic I would have more worthwhile. Like, I'm not even playing a spellcaster right now, but that's just, I feel like that
That's just in general.
from my experience with a spellcaster would, like, in the last campaign, I almost had no money at all times, and that was even after you just started throwing money at us.
Well, to be fair,
fair,
a
though.
wizard is always going to have no money because a wizard can spend money infinitely.
Sure, but a wizard in this campaign is also going to have no money and no spells.
He does make it easier for ritual spells do not cost spell slots. So if you're like more attentive to like what spells you have, and if they're ritual spells, then you can actually cast more spells than you.
Okay.
Don't you
But-
need the components for those as well?
Well,
Yeah, but that's
Depends on the ritual spell. Some do require components.
But I mean, let me be perfectly honest. A fireball is not a ritual spell. Teleport is not a ritual spell. Any effective combat spell at all, or anything to make someone more effective in a situation that isn't roleplay, is not a ritual spell. Like, magic is not designed to be around, or at least if you want the magician to be anything more than a glorified support character that maybe every few sessions can do something, I worry for. I would not play Sod at this point.
Hey, I did something. Thank you for that.
Right,
Well,
but
I
we
would
were also
I would
like,
ask for now that you give me the benefit of the doubt and see where it goes. And if it does turn out like, you guys are level 5 and everyone's still rocking their beginner gear, nobody's been able to afford spell components, we can readdress if it feels like you guys are literally never able to spend money.
And I want to make it clear, like I'm not saying anything negative about. I'm giving you my initial impressions as someone who has played a level 20 spellcaster, and my initial worries. I will always give you the benefit of the doubt, Blight, because you have always been an exceptional DM and have always been able to solve these problems. I'm just making you aware of of my worries in this situation.
Yeah, and I get that. It's just when I think about, like, for instance, the amount of money you need as a high level character, is like the thing that scared me the most in the last game was giving you guys money, because it's like either you do absolutely nothing with it, or you all buy like super huge amounts of spell components or new spells or super amazing magic items or that kind of thing, right? Whereas now I can kind of just throw money at you guys, confident that like it's not going to get out of hand because you still need to live.
Oh no, let me like I love an idea for I love the idea for upkeep and for having to like live in things like that. Like that's that and for maintenance on the ship to a much like lesser degree. I love the idea. I just worry. I really worry, especially knowing the way you like to give gold out.
Yeah.
That we're
No,
going
like
to
I
end
said,
up
it might
impoverished.
take it might take a bit of time for me to adjust to the new gold scale, but I imagine eventually I will get a hang of like what you guys use, how much you need, and tailor what you guys are getting to that amount, or at least to the point where there is a meaningful decision that needs to be made on certain things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are all the towns flying?
Yes, all the major ones. You may run across like small mobile settlements on the ground, but no big towns.
Does that mean mine was also floating from where I came
Yes.
from? What the fuck? How? It's in the
What do you-
desert.
Yeah. It's floating not based off of like why would a desert be less prone to a floating city than a forest?
It's just not a lot of water. I don't know.
Oh, well, give me a history check actually. Do you know where where the towns get their water?
Well, I mean, maybe I'm.
It wouldn't be common knowledge, but you could have looked into it.
I think it would be common knowledge to me at least because I was in the church.
I mean, even then, it's like, do you know what all goes into a wastewater plant in real life? No, because
Maybe.
that's not like your. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily know. You do know that water seems to pour endlessly from the center of town, generally.
Magical water.
They all have magic rocks. Okay, cool.
Beyond that, you don't necessarily know the mechanics of it, but you do know there's never been water problems necessarily.
Magic water. Also, does that mean if they're floating in the sky, do they come like we get any like dust or like wind pick up? So does that mean like when the cities are traveling or whatnot, that they're like dust storms following in the wake of them?
They're not like pushed up by wind gusts or anything like that. They use like ambient magical energies to essentially keep themselves floating in midair. That would, I mean, if you want more details beyond that, I would say that's an Arcana check.
Why not? It could be useful.
What's up? Oh God.
I said, why not? Let me Arcana check that and make the useful information later.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't roll good, did I?
Yeah, it's not necessarily been your area of study.
It's the low rolls. We gotta get them out.
You
No, I
guys are
just
working
roll
through your
roll.
roles.
What are you talking about?
So, any other questions, or shall we move forward? Because as you
Investigation yield any results?
your investigation.
My
Oh, right,
sniffing around.
right. We eventually got back there, Big. Thanks for reminding me. And Alien, you also went to the the Warren, right? So
Oh yeah.
get back
it's
to
the
that.
Slums.
All right.
The quarantine zone.
Yeah. So, give me a perception check. And I'm going to say, let me roll d6 to see how long you last in there. Okay, you get almost an entire hour before the guards like start shooing you the fuck out of there.
This episode. That's a 12.
All right. So I would say with a 12, you eliminate the so in the more wealthy parts of town, there's a few different sectors would be the best way to put them, right? You have the kind of like homes of the well-to-do. You have the kind of like offices and private workplaces of some of the more wealthy and influential craftsmen. You have a portion of the town that houses kind of their standing army / police force that patrol this area, and you have the portion of the area that is controlled by religious authority. And I would say in this, you cross off the residences as a possible area.
And what were the other sectors?
The offices, the kind of offices and workspaces of influential craftsmen. The army / guard, and the church. Oh, sorry, there would be a fifth one for fucking wizards and shit. But yeah, I would say with a 12 and the amount of time you have, you just like have enough time to cross out residences.
Okay. And I guess the guards at that point are just like.
The guards finally like they essentially you look like a beggar or a thief in Richie Rich neighborhood. You look like you're marking houses. And they get you the fuck out of there.
Can I tell them this then? And this isn't a lie. That I was found in this area, unconscious, having been concussed, and I am investigating the circumstances.
They do not believe you based off of your earlier charisma roll.
Damn it. Well, I mean, I have the other guards. They could go find them. I didn't get.
They're not going to. They look at you and you look like you don't belong. Like that is they see you and they're either trying to give us the runaround to get away, or they don't want to bother looking into it because you don't look like you're worth the time. Is essentially the vibe you're getting off of these people.
With the rest of my day.
You will do what?
I will find the guards.
Okay. Give me an investigation check with disadvantage because you have no idea where they're stationed.
Well, I mean, I'd assume around here, right? Well, actually, no, because the whole town is...
You don't even remember where you woke up. last time. You knocked yourself unconscious and they escorted you back as you were mildly concussed. Like, I don't think you remember at all what part of town you were in when you woke up. Yeah, no. It's,
Damn.
you ask around and you give very general descriptions that don't really evoke much from people. And they still kind of want you out of this part of town.
He was wearing armor. Some kind of dwarven fellow.
He was a humanoid wearing armor. Not one of the small ones. And they look at you as like, so 70% of the town. Good. We'll keep an eye out.
To the tailors.
All right. Yeah, I would say at that point you've spent most of your time. But what are you doing out in the quarantine zone, Cirrus? Elion?
Hello, sorry.
That is not Elion.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Pasa, senor.
Napakun, are you doing anything in town?
Wasn't he just working at the library?
Yeah.
Good
Currently working there. Wow, what time is it right now?
I mean, you've got about 2 days before your plan to set out.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of want to just get as much money as possible.
Now you've been doing some basic work at the library. Do you have proficiency with scribing tools, right?
Yeah.
They are willing to pay you more if you instead want to start like fucking putting those to use, and as you have a steady hand and a very proficient level of penmanship, they're willing to pay you about $1 a day if you're going to just sit down and write books all day.
I will do exactly that.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you have you're essentially being put with a bunch of you're essentially being put in like an interview office with a bunch of people who have different stories to tell or experiences to bring, and you're just jotting down these various experiences. But you make a gold a day for the next few days, for the next couple days.
That's an easy goal. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, you've been working there for about a week now, so they gather that you are proficient and are willing to open up to a bigger job, to a better paying job.
Hell yeah. Okay, that works.
All right. Alien, are you here?
All
If
the
not,
days in mean pain, DD, yeah, it's...
if Alien is not here, then I am just going to kind of gloss over that. And
Oh, can I do something?
I suppose so. You'd probably be working about 8 hours a day, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. Can I just do a charisma person who owns the smithy to see if I can get some more pay? Doesn't hurt.
Sure, I would say if you fail really poorly, this could backfire on your pay. You may pay you less if you fail by a significant
I did
amount.
not fail or win.
Yeah, he fucking rolls his
I've
eyes
left
and
an
like,
okay
get out of
impression.
here. Yeah. He's like, I see your hustle, now get the fuck back to work.
How dare you say that? I only asked him about his day.
Oh, Alien.
What? Oh, hi.
You said you were going to the quarantine zone.
Yes. Or
Which
at least
floor?
heading that direction.
Okay.
I'd like to look around the area as inauspiciously as possible and just kind of get a feel for the situation.
Okay.
As inauspicious as a giant 9-foot elephant can't.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a... So are you, like, hiding behind corners, or are you just trying to blend in?
I'm just there.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a charisma stealth. You're not hiding per se. You're just trying to blend in, not look suspicious. You're doing a very good job of it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
go ahead and give me an
even-
investigation check as well.
Okay.
All right. So people definitely notice you, but they're not stopping you. You're not doing anything illegal. They're just making note that you're there and watching. This place.
Just imagine in his head, is, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
And he's actually jamming a little to his like
Don't.
dancing down the street, thinking he's not being suspicious.
Doing that little like side shuffle Bruno Mars move as I go down the street.
No, you're more like fucking Toby what's his face from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Dancing
Maguire.
Yeah. But you do notice that there as you look around this wall that surrounds the quarantine zone, it is given the level of fortification drastically understaffed. You see like people mostly centered around the gate, around the few gates that enter it. You notice that people who go in do so under fairly heavy guard, though the guard looks personal rather than city. You do notice several houses near the wall have been burned down. They're not great houses. It's still like slums outside of it. But beyond that, I don't know. Is there anything specific you're looking for? Because
Well,
otherwise, that would be mostly what you are.
I heard.
Mostly what you're seeing.
I heard there was a lot of people trying to break out, right?
Yeah.
And where people are trying to break out, there's usually issues to be had. And so
Okay.
my thought is to try and see what the issues are, and if at all possible, if there's anything I can do to help.
Okay. Do you ask any of the guards, or are you just kind of looking for an opportunity?
I'm gathering that the guards are on the other side of the issue here, but
Those are the only ones who look freely approachable of the two sides, I should say. Or you can try and sneak in, or get in some way.
Yeah, I see people leaving and coming and going all the time, right?
You do. They generally look not wealthy themselves, but they have the look of people who work for wealthy people. And they go in under like fairly heavy guard.
So Blight, I have a question. I didn't specify. What outfit would I have worn out?
What outfits does your character have available to them?
Well, I have like my traveler's clothes, which I'm fashioning as more of a light, like flowy, more towny kind of effect. Being able to like move about and without armor encumbrance. And then I obviously have my like chainmail attire for battle, which is if I know I'm going into trouble, I might wear it. And or if we're traveling, I might wear it, but I'm going to try to not wear it. So like I knew I might go into trouble, but I don't think my plan was to go into trouble here. And also like would I have brought the club or the pointy stick? Do you think? Because I didn't specify.
That would be up
for
to
that.
you. I'd be willing to put that in your hand.
Okay.
What kind of weapon does this guy bring out on the town, if any?
I brought my big walking stick.
All right. So, they have seen you wandering around here for a while, kind of looking at things. So as you go up to the gate, and they take a look at you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Am I armored or am I not?
Again, I would leave that up to you. Like, how does your character go about in town when they
I
are attempting to do what they're doing?
I heard there was riots. I think I would have came armored, but without my glaive.
Okay, that's reasonable. So you show up armored with your club at the gate.
It's my walking stick.
Yeah, one man's walking stick is another man's club and all that.
I'm just an old man with a walking stick.
The two guards at the gate, they see you and say, "Well, you've been walking around here for a while. What are you doing?"
I heard about there being possible issues here, and I was curious as to what would cause such a city to have such issues, and where I could help.
Scans you up and down. All right, he has no idea what you're about. His insight is awful. But gives you a once over, and he says, "Well, I mean, normally it's not this bad. A bunch of our guys are out dealing with the blockade and all that. We could always use more manpower over here, just keeping them in. Don't want it spreading to the rest of the town."
What exactly? The
curse.
Oh.
Right? Like, they grow a bunch of crystals on their body in there. Nobody else wants that happening to them.
I see people coming in and out all the time. What are they about?
Well, we have been, we've had a few people with vested interests in keeping things normal who are trying to root out problem elements.
I'm here for a day or two. Could I attach myself to one of these groups?
I mean, if you can convince one to bring you, I suppose. It's not my job. Like I said, private.
Or can I, like, go in there myself and do it and come back out? Or would you stop me? What makes them capable of, like, not getting sick, but others not?
It's not a matter of people getting sick. As long as you don't spend too long at a time in there.
Sure. How long is too long?
And generally, you don't want to spend, like, months with them, right? Like, a day or two isn't going to do anything. The other thing is we just don't want unauthorized people going in and out.
I see. Well, can I be
Those
authorized?
people have businesses and vested interests in the people in there, debtors and the ones they work for, in keeping these people, whole, unmolested by these terrorists. So they send people to patrol through, take a look around, but you don't have that vested interest as far as I could tell. If you can get them to hire you on, sure.
I believe I have more of a vested interest. Because last time I heard, the riots made it to the docks, and I happen to be a shipwright for one of the ships there. And I'd rather them not spread their fires to mine.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, buddy. Yeah.
It was not with advantage.
Nope.
Yeah, he says, Well, if you have a problem with how we're doing our job, you can take it up with the authorities at the port, but we're doing our best here, and, well, having more people just come in is only going to make our job more difficult.
Just a minute ago, you were saying I could be of assistance. I intended...
To the people going in there,
Yeah.
that's not my job.
Right, so the only assistance you offer those people beyond the wall is to allow debt collectors through to their already impoverished conditions.
You can kind of see that you're riling them up a bit.
Well, yeah, I am, I think.
Yeah. And he says,
See,
look, if you ain't got any other business here, move along. We got stuff to do.
Right. And I start to walk through the gate.
Him and his buddy both, like, cross their spears in front of you. Other way.
See, I have a vested interest over there. I told you as such. You took offense, not me. And I'm kind of curious to see if maybe people over there could use, I don't know, food? Water? Compassion?
Are you attempting to be intimidating, or are you just kind of still making an argument?
I'm irritated and quickly becoming more irritated, but I've not been threatening this whole time.
Okay. And he says, we make sure they're fed and they get their water.
That's why they're rampaging through the streets?
What a bunch of terrorists do is ideally not your concern, to put it lightly, traveler.
If they are terrorist guard, then I will treat them as such. But it sounds to me it's a bunch of people with shitty circumstances being dealt a shitty hand, and no one willing to help them.
So you see at the moment he is definitely not going to just let you pass. You, like, without some kind of either, you gather there's pretty much no persuading him at this point. That bridge is burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, without some kind of higher authority or an attempt to, like, muscle your way through, he is nothing you say is going to let you pass.
Sure, what does he say to what I said, though?
I mean, I just kind of want to move the game forward, so I'm just, that's where I'm saying, is like, the guard is not high enough up on the totem pole to necessarily debate philosophy on the squalid conditions they keep their debt slaves.
Yeah.
He puts forward weak arguments that about how it's not his job, not his fault. He isn't paid to look into these kinds of things. He's just paid to make sure that no one goes in or out without proper authorization.
Sure. Can I wait for, like, the next debt collector to come out, or to come try and go through?
Sure. And it's not, like, super frequent. There's like one or two a day, right? But you do eventually find, wait for a bit, and another one comes through.
Before that happens, though, as I walk away, can I, like, go and get? It doesn't have to be great rations, just like some kind of rations or something.
Sure. For how much?
How much do I feel like I'll need?
That is entirely up to you. Like, how many people are you looking to feed?
I don't know how many people are back there is the problem. Right?
Oh, there is more than you could bring.
Yeah, so...
more people than you could bring, like, carry food in.
How much does a...
I have 12... I will say I did leave 12 spare rations on the ship, because I bought a shit ton.
I'm not going all the way back to the ship, but I'm also not going to use the cruise thing for my own personal thing yet.
Understandable.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Right now, I don't feel like he feels he's in a position to do so. God, if only we had message, I'd message to Josh.
If only.
Can I find like? All right. So while I'm doing this, can I find like a runner boy to go find Josh?
Easy, 2 copper.
2 copper. All right, done. And then, shit. And tell him to meet me up here. And then, how much is a ration pack? Like just a shitty little ration pack, not like nothing great, but something to sustain yourself.
If you wanted just like bare minimum food to get by, it would probably cost you about like 5 copper.
So 1 silver is 2
Bread and some veggies.
So 20. So a gold is 20. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll do a gold worth of simple ration and send back to the ship where I plan to go, and specifically to Josh.
I would say that gets, yeah, Itcher, you get that message, and that's probably around when you've started like buying up all of your rations. So it does take a while for him to get there, but he does eventually.
I would definitely head over.
Okay, so like he's here, like, oh hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Got your message.
You don't need your muscle?
You wanted to see this thing in person, yes?
Yes, it's of a great interest.
Perhaps we can ingratiate ourselves into one of these filthy debt collectors, and
Oh, we can't just go in?
no, the gods are completely and totally stupid.
Oh.
Well, I suppose I can't judge them. They know nothing better.
Well, true, they're stupid, they're stupid.
Yeah.
So you just know you get paid for it, right?
Oh, perhaps you just got licensed, yes?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the guild, although I'm just working as an alchemist, so...
Yeah,
I
but
could
here's the
try.
thing, right? Like, you needed a guard, you hired me on, and you're going in to look for some form of cure.
Oh, that could work. Shall we try?
Sure.
Okay, we'll go up to the gods.
All right.
And I'm just standing quietly behind him.
Yeah, one of the guard you were talking to last time is giving you the stink eye, and as the other one talks to Itcher, and
Hello.
he says, hi, sir, alchemist, what do you,
Going in to find a cure.
is this, guild business then? Just something to put in the books.
Oh, no, this is just business.
Personal business then.
Do you want a cure? It's not personal.
I mean, you're not the first to look for it. The
And
guild
there's
has,
no
has
cure
done
yet,
some. Yes.
So are you just going to let incompetent people going in, or do you want someone else who's going to get something done? Pretty simple.
Your badge says journeyman. Not to say anything of your skill. I'm sure you are an incredibly skilled member of the guild, but we've had masters come in here.
Oh, this
And-
badge means nothing. I just joined. I'm way better than any of them.
Give me a deception check.
Though he does believe that.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a. I mean, do you want a deception or persuasion?
I'm
I'll give you advantage on either.
Both are the same, but yeah.
Okay. I'll give you
it's charisma.
advantage. Yeah.
Advantage, alright.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. He's like, Right.
Come
Well,
on.
I suppose.
Hey.
Yes, I fucking.
Right. Can I get your name real quick before we
You even need that? It's Itcher.
All right, and he writes your name, and lets you through. The other guard, like as soon as Itcher's passed the way, the other guard like flips you off, alien.
I'm like, careful, little
That
one.
wasn't so hard, was it?
I'll be like, as I pass the gun, I'm like, careful, little one. I almost didn't see you there. I was like, how big are you, sir? Like, what are you again, Josh?
I'm a half troll.
A half troll.
Oh,
You would
Jesus.
see him. You would see him as a half orc, unless he straight up introduced himself as half troll. In which case, you would see him as
a half troll to the group.
okay, mildly worrying. In the same way that other members of your group revealing their situation would be mildly worrying.
Yes.
So
I couldn't decide on a height. I'd probably be around 7.
So we're two very large men, is what is what we are.
Very large. Ironically, just as a side note, half orcs known as very scholarly.
Really?
Yeah. Just a brief little blurb on that. Half orcs, like everyone comes from the same race. Half orcs kind of got a raw deal in their own opinion with their transformation, in that it made them more like feral and bestial. And to combat that, they pursue scholarly pursuits.
That's actually
as
cool.
a way to kind of like they're not animals.
I appreciate that, a little bit of lore.
So that is that's kind of like why nobody. That's why it was very easy for them to believe you were an alchemist, and like much better than your thing would say.
Probably why one of the reasons I'm introducing myself as a half orc and not half
Yeah.
for other reasons, of course, but among other reasons.
And I'm gonna pat him on the back and be like, right, well, Mr. Alchemist, you got us in here, and I'm nothing but a god. Let's see where our feet take us.
Yes, I would love to see some live samples.
Yeah. So traveling through this area, it is, structures that don't ever reach more than one story, put together with like spare linens and like lean-to tents, maybe some wood here and there. But the people in it, from varying races, but they all have one thing in common. They're all growing some kind of crystal growth on their body. Some of them are more far gone than others. You see a few of them who are like, not entirely, but they are down to like square feet, like sub 3 square feet of skin that isn't crystallized. And they just seem to like, almost like clickers, just stare off in the distance and twitch every once in a while.
But not hostile at all.
Not hostile, though. You see people giving them a wide berth. Like the other quarantined people are giving them a wide berth.
I'm like actually trying to get really close and like trying to study them.
Okay. Yeah. Doesn't react to you whatsoever. Like you go up right in its face, doesn't even flinch.
Can I discern anything?
Give me an insight check. Like, what are you trying to discern? I should say first.
Question.
Like, are you trying to discern behavior, physical condition,
Their meaning
or...
of life.
Yeah, mainly more so of their conscious, maybe in control of their own faculties. That's what I'm curious about.
Okay, yeah, give me an insight check.
And Blight, as we're going around, can I look to see if there's like anybody taking special note of us, and or like...
yeah, give me a perception check. 'Cause you keep a watch out for watching eyes.
18.
So you do see there are. It's not so much someone's like watching you from around the corner, but that everyone who passes by you on the street is aware of you, where you are at all times. They aren't so much head on a swivel watching you as they pass by, but you see like as people turn, they'll notice you as they walk down the street, and as they turn onto another one, they'll take a quick look back at you as they pass, and you'll see like some people are cycling through repeatedly. You are being watched. whether it is an organization or individuals keeping tabs on you, no way to know.
Okay. I'm gonna let Josh do his thing, and then at some point, just randomly, I'm gonna like snag one of the ones that I've seen cycling through multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And like pull them real close.
Okay. So, Josh, you look deep into this creature's eyes, like snapping in its face, anything to draw its attention.
Yeah, try speaking.
It's hard to even tell what race this thing is at this point. With like a really close inspection, you gather this was probably some kind of elf at one point or another. But kind of like snapping in its face. At one point, you cup your hands and kind of like shout into where you think its ear is. No reaction.
Knife ears became knife ears.
Responsive. If I poke
Yeah.
it, what does it do?
So you poke it. Could you give me an initiative roll real quick? Yeah. So he lunges to grab the hand you poked him with.
Right.
It catches you off guard. He does manage to go first. Give me an athletics or acrobatics check. Yeah, you do manage. He locks a hand around your wrist that you shake off immediately and back up as this thing lets a low kind of moan out.
Does it keep coming at me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try restraining it.
And at this point, there's like a crowd on the side of the road. A few people who are talking, and like 3 guys round the corner, and are beginning to bear down on your location as well.
It's okay, completely under control.
They look at you, and is there anything you do when your turn comes up, other than that?
Me?
I was just going to try to restrain it.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah, you as well. If you want to roll initiative in this as well.
Sure. And I get
Okay.
I think I have an additional thing for that.
I forget. What did I find out about this infection last?
It's not infectious.
It's not.
Yeah,
an
the
infection,
piece that you had was not spreading any infection. The piece of a dead creature you had was not spreading any infection.
I
didn't see my
thought I
disease.
got like a +3 to, but I don't know where that came from. So disregard.
Okay.
With my 15.
So, you have enough time to intercept these people if you want.
I'll be like, afternoon, gentlemen. This seems to be the problem.
And one of them, a lionin, not quite as big as you, but probably in Itcher's size range, says, "Out of the way. We don't want to have to hurt him."
Her too.
They push past you.
No.
Are you going to try and stop him?
Yeah, as kindly as you
There's
can.
two of them.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna be like, you don't want to try and hurt who, because certainly that's not my companion you're talking about. As I do try and, like, at least stop one of them from getting around me.
all right. You see, as you like throw an arm out in front of him and not quite clothesline him, but just like get him across, stiff arm him across the chest.
Yeah.
He seems genuinely surprised for a second as you reach out to touch him. But gathers himself for a second, and he says, and he looks at you and says, "Listen, Jenkins is just a bit far gone. Nobody has to get hurt, but we have to get him under control." And the other two are like past you at this point, moving over to Itcher, and you see them try and like grapple the crystalline elf.
Oh yeah, if they're starting to do that, then I'll back off.
Okay.
I have no intention of
So seeing they're not harming my friend, I'm like, okay, sorry, I misunderstood the situation.
Sorry, I was just a little curious, that's all.
We're trying to better understand what's going on here, as nobody in the town seems to give a shit.
And give me a persuasion roll as he looks at you with like intense suspicion.
God damn it. I'm 15.
Ooh. Yeah, you see him like confused, angry, and then seems to like read your sincerity and says, you and no one else in this town. And like moves past you and goes up to this elf and says, "Well, if you really want to make a difference, I can maybe put you in contact with someone who can get you the answers you're looking for."
Sure, and it seems like you know the community pretty well here, yeah?
I mean, not better than anyone else, really.
If you know how to get me in contact with, here, you know who these could go to a little better. And I'll hand over the basic rations and be like, I know they're not much, but I gave what I could.
You get a nod from him and says, "Thanks. I'll see these get spread around."
Mind if I ask?
We can't. Yeah.
Do they all act like this at this stage? Or are there ones that are more aggressive?
Once they fully go, they get a lot more aggressive, and they tend to be pretty quiet around this point, though depends on an individual base. We think people with more mental fortitude resist it for longer, but eventually everyone... And kind of rubs his forearms where he's got like fully crystallized forearms at this point. Everyone eventually gets there.
I'll be right back, but
I had a cousin who escaped, and then he was eaten.
I'll be right back, but I'm okay if we want to bounce back to somebody else.
Okay. Is there anything anyone else is doing other than
one
working?
More question I wanted to ask that guy is that they're not actively hunting they're not actively aggressive. It's only when you get close to them, or
no. Once they're fully gone, as you kind of like ask for a little more detail, once they fully crystallize, they become incredibly violent. And what tends to happen if left uncontrolled is they will like attack someone, render them unconscious, and pull them westward. There have been stories of people who this happens to, and they just get pulled right off the side of the island.
I would also like to ask him if there's anyone that he's seen come back from there, like.
No.
Okay.
No one's ever come back once. No one's ever gotten better, even. There have been a few people who've lasted a long time, but nobody's ever gotten better. They've always, at best, been able to stave off.
May I mention
Well, thank you
something
very
from
much.
last session to Josh that he might want to
Yeah.
consider asking? Concerning my own investigations lately, the people that kind of burnt that body to literal ashes, even the crystalline parts of it. I'm not sure if you would want to
Yeah, one more
see if
question.
they have any
actually.
information on that.
Do you know why that people would completely burn the corpse of one of these creatures? Or, no offense, I didn't mean creatures, but people.
You see him, like, at the mention of creatures, kind of bristle for a second before you correct yourself, and this is... No, it's, we're used to it.
There wouldn't
I don't know
Forget White
who's...
Flames too.
I don't know anyone who would burn the bodies. We don't tend to burn very well. At least parts of us. Maybe it's how they keep the curse from spreading. I don't know. This is like something. We tend not to see where they take the dead off to. Is this like what they do with the people they find in town?
Possibly. It's quite common to get rid of the whole infection at its source, so getting rid of the body completely. But there wouldn't be happening, sorry to ask an insensitive question like this, but any fresh corpse of one of the people that have passed?
And kind of, says, no. Nobody here.
I'm quite curious why they're trying to burn the bodies. I would very much like to dissect one of them, but I don't want to just go and kill one, right?
You gather he's very unnerved by this line of conversation. As you're talking about dissecting his friends and family. Friends, family, neighbors, like... It's a very unnerving line of conversation for him.
Has anyone else come in to study these?
We've had people come in and he does some air quotes, study. They just come in here and they come in here and they rip off a crystal here and there and then they leave.
Well then. Well, hopefully I don't run into one of your fellows here that has been freshly passed. But it would probably come quite in handy to figure out maybe the cause or a cure.
Well, if you're sincere about the cure, I don't know if there's anything I can do to help, but you're certainly more in here than any other person has been.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, could I just take a closer look at your situation? I've only
Yeah,
had
let's
a
get
sample of someone who has sadly departed.
let's get Jenkins situated somewhere, and then we can sit down and run whatever tests you need.
Thank you, appreciate it. Take your time. It was quite a feisty one.
And he walks past you, and they kind of tie up his legs and his arms, and the other
How
two
long
drag
does it
him
usually
off.
take for them to calm down?
I mean, you can generally we take them out to a secluded part of the town, cut them loose, and then as long as they're left alone for a few minutes, they'll settle back down. But you just can't have anyone nearby them until then.
Interesting.
And the two guys kind of drag him off into the distance, and he follows you. They bring you to like a bit of a cloth lean-to.
Alright, and if he lets me inspect them, I'm specifically trying to figure out if this crystal might be living or have a conscience of its own.
Okay. I would say that's probably going to take more than just like a 15-minute checkup. You're probably going to have to like test today and then come back tomorrow.
Okay.
To do more tests.
Right. And if he's alright with that, I'll ask him.
Okay. And yeah, you could do that after like your work days.
Right.
Um,
Awesome. And then if Alien wants to come back with me, I'll mention it to him as well.
okay. So give me a alchemy tools check. All right. So poking and prodding at the crystals, you run a few rudimentary tests. You manage to get your supplies in, and you managed to chip away a bit of a sample on it. Much the same as the dead piece. Doesn't seem to react to anything. Seems like natural crystal.
Does it look any different from the stuff that's on the body when I take it off?
So, other than the fact that not everyone is made of the same crystal.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. There.
Sorry, I might have not described that. They come in a few different varieties.
So don't be
they're
racist.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Let me find where that is. Where did I put that? Is it here? Is it here? No, is it? Here it is. So they come in amethyst, sapphire, pearl, emerald, ruby, diamond, glass, amber, and onyx. The individual in front of you is he is a sapphire color, and the one from before was an emerald.
Any different quality between the two?
Alchemically, you do get faint. I would say with your 16, you get faint, almost magical vibes from them that you would normally associate with certain potions made to emulate effects of spells. The emerald, you gather, had illusion-based effects, and the sapphire, you gather, has kind of abjuration-based effects.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, while I'm taking these samples, I would like to ask him what is to the west, where people have been going once they've reached
The towers, the cursed land, where we get turned into this.
Oh, that's where you were turned into it? What did you do there?
Loggers, miners, depends who you ask. But we cut down the big crystal trees.
Yes, why?
Pay off our debt.
And how did you incur this debt?
He gives you a bit of a rolled eyes as he says it. but
What do you mean? Where did your debt become so grave you would give your life for a few measly trees?
he says, if you ask me, they just pull anyone that they get significant dirt on, so they have workers out here.
I see.
If it wasn't, I mean, they got me because I was a thief. But I didn't steal enough to earn this.
Survive somehow.
Is this a workers' revolt, Josh?
Well, I would probably say so. Well, it's a little more than that now, but
No. I'm saying, should it be?
should it be? Well, I mean, they have plenty of reason to revolt.
Yeah. What is? Well, is there any way we could help beyond, the obvious of trying to find a cure?
I mean, how much longer? I mean, you guys, no offense, have a very, wandery look to you. Are you staying in town for a while, or are you just passing through?
So, we're currently going to try and relieve the blockade in our hopes that it, helps you a little.
And he says, no, that will not help us at all. If anything, that will stick us further back to where we were.
Really? How?
At least this way we can get some people out. If the blockade ends, like, all those soldiers are going to come back here, walls manned again. We'll be back where we started. Any chance we have at affecting any, like, whispers a little more, affecting some kind of change is when we have the upper hand.
Do you know why these other towns are blockading Criswin? Do you know if life would be better for you in those other towns?
He scoffs a bit and says, they all are trying to get resources from the towers, so I assume they all have someone they send in there. If they got us, it'd probably just be more of the same. And he says, listen, I can put you in contact with people who know more about this than I do, but, like, our goal, our real goal, if we can get Criswin, the town, away from the towers, remove the incentive for mining it, sending people in there, we can stop this. No one else has to end up like me or anyone else here.
How would you do that?
Hey,
I am
hey.
fully like by the way, like I am
Contagious.
leaned in like casting the cursory look over my shoulder, like fully into this.
Aren't they contagious anyways? So even if they stop sending people in, them getting out of the slums or wherever the containment area they're in further puts more people in danger, which is just going to spread the disease.
No, they're not
And more people are gonna-
contagious.
They're contagious.
They're not contagious.
They are contagious.
No,
Yes.
like you can. They are not Blight, back me up here.
In a sense, they are contagious.
So so Josh found a piece of a dead one that didn't seem to spread anything. That is the information you have at the moment.
And we also have information from the guards where everybody's fine even if you're next to people for a few months. So it's at the very.
No. It's if you spend like a month or more in close proximity, like living near one.
Yeah.
That's why
If
they
you
have their
live
own
with
quarter
them.
of the town.
Exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like okay,
They
no,
are
The
Abe,
reason they
Abe,
don't, the reason given to you at least that they don't intermingle with the rest of the town is because it would just spread to the rest of the
Yeah.
town.
Okay. All right. So talk to these
would.
guys. Are you contagious?
He says,
Of course, I'm gonna say no.
I mean, we don't have, like, I've never infected anyone, as best I can tell, but I've not spent a lot of time near anybody. Josh, with your 15, or with your 16, checking over these bodies, these people, you do a similar test to before. Nothing spreading.
So
Their dead bodies might not be
so we
contagious,
have
but them themselves could
we
be
have
contagious,
we
is
have
what
a
I'm saying.
town full of people with a vested interest in keeping these people locked up, telling us that they're contagious. I don't believe a goddamn word of it.
We can't do anything to make sure or not to make sure in the 2 days that we're going to be here, and then coming back
But we can fucking
with
hear
the
them out.
information, and then going to.
Listen, you're not here unless you choose to come here.
I'm just saying.
Unless you choose to walk your happy ass over here, so which we're more than willing to have you do so.
There was a runner who came over to the boat.
Do you want to say you're with us?
Sure, I'll be like, I'll make my way.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we'll have this out, and we'll have this out and be like, well, there's no indication, according to our very own alchemist, who himself has proclaimed that he's better than the alchemists that have come before.
I am.
And we have no indication to know that this may or may not be contagious. And why should we allow these people to continue to suffer?
I'm not saying for them to continue suffering. All I'm saying is if they get out of the containment, they have a high probability of actually being contagious because we have no idea.
They have
Absolutely none, and we cannot conduct any experiments in the length of time that we're going to be here to make sure that I'm correct. But we only have 5 days down below in order not to contract the actual disease. So we have no idea if it's going to spread to the other people. All we have is the word of the townsfolk, which
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
have to believe that other people want to be rude or inflict harm or
there is
anything like that to others.
Your entire argument is predicated on the word high probability. And the way I know probability works, if you have no information, you have no knowledge of probability. There is an unknown probability, and the
information either.
The information we have, the information that we have is that it is not contagious.
When they're dead, we have no idea
It doesn't
if
appear to be
when they're
spreading
alive.
right now either. I would love to just confine 2 of them, like a person that's not infected
No.
and a person that is,
No.
in a single room for a
No.
certain amount of time. And see
No.
what happens.
No, okay, so
we have no idea.
Is the other guy in the other room with us still?
Morally.
Yeah, he's his eyes are darting between all 3.
I'm gonna turn to him and be like, I have no idea if this is painful. I do not know how this will go. But can he run a similar test on the crystal on you to find out if you are truly?
He has been.
Oh, he's been doing it on live person, and it's not contagious. It's not contagious.
We don't know how long it takes for them to be contagious. Once again, we went down below. We had 5 days before we contracted the disease. We have no idea how long it takes for close contact.
Well, so
human
you
and
had
human
5 days because
spread.
the ship was going to leave without you if you didn't come back in 5 days. Not
Yes.
because you were going to, not because it was going to transform you guys.
How long
No,
were
I
you
thought
walking
that
in the
was the-
forest? Or whatever that place is?
I assume
Yeah.
you're asking how long it takes for this to start happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
This generally happens after, like, maybe like half a month to a month. Again, person to person.
We can assume that it takes about that length of time, close contact with these people, for it to spread. That's all the information we have is they were down below for that amount of time. They are infected with the same kind of crystal that is down below. We have no idea.
if
I
it
do
is.
not want them to live in squalor or in poor conditions and for them to suffer. But at the same time, is it morally right for us to let them out and then doom an entire city?
If you have to apply the word "but" to a sentence, then everything you said before is null.
No, it's not.
You can
We
say
have
all
no
you want
idea.
about I want the floating islands to not be necessary and the entire world to be well and good, but, and everything you just said is meaningless.
We have no idea. The same disease with my sister. I cannot cure her. I cannot cure these people. There was no way that we can figure that out. Maybe
Then
it's
why are
something
you
with
searching?
the
If there
crystals
is
down
no,
below.
if there is
But
no way,
I
if
do
there
not
is no
wish the
way, then
same
why are
disease
you
to
here?
spread.
I have no idea about your sister. Is it the same disease or is it a different one? Are you applying your melancholy and dooming an entire group of people for your
You are
own
doing an
naivety?
entire city if you do this. I do not
I'm
wish them
not.
to live like this. But
No,
we have
if
no
you say-
idea how fast this spreads. They're infected the same crystals that are down below, and it took them a month or a month and a half for these things for this to develop. We have no idea what could happen.
Well, we do. We have an idea of what
No.
will happen to these individuals if this continues. To the poor that you're so desperately trying to heal and make better in the
I am
town.
trying to
How
heal.
long until the people that you're putting your time and effort are in this very same hole, begging for food and dying a slow and painful death? How much of
They
your
will
effort
have
are
a
you
much
willing to
more
waste?
likelihood for them to end up like this if we helped these people.
If we help them
Get
move
out.
the
We
town
have
away
no
from the
idea.
towers?
And at this point, he kind of like cuts in and he says, "Look, I know we're fucked.
He never said
We
he
are-
wanted to be free. He said he wanted to move the fucking town away
If
from
we
the
move
towers.
the town, there's no more of us have to happen.
Which
I
is
don't
what I'm
care if I
saying.
have to live here for the rest of my life. If it means that the kids in the rest of the slums don't have to come here as well."
Thank you.
I can get behind moving it. I thought they were wanting to escape because I got
No,
here
he
in
never.
the end of that conversation.
I mean, the
Like,
likely chance
bitches,
that
you're
it does
wanting to
spread,
like.
and they stay
It's like
here, it means it's probably going to spread even further the longer they're here.
Correct,
Just,
because
I
of
thought that
shipping.
they were just going to like wanting to be free, and then I'm like, I can't morally do that because we have no idea.
I can. Well,
I
I would
Also,
still. I would still say on that. By the way, out of character, morally, my character would not allow it to continue.
Neither of those is like morally correct. I agree, but like there's not a very good choice, but there's fucking entire city and everyone in it, or
No, there is
The-
allow the situation to continue and
Yeah.
doom not only this city but every city it trades with, or try and stop it, which is what I'm proposing.
yeah, no, I'm down with
Forest,
trying to
I would
move
love to
Chris
see
when.
where this originated.
I don't know. I don't want to go back down there. There's a giant green ape that murdered one of the people. Anyways,
Wait, there's a giant ape
it's
that
like,
did
I
what?
casually. There's creatures down there, and we that are not fun to deal with in the first place. But we went down there to get like a heart crystal out of the middle of one of these fucking tree things. And as soon as we like finished killing these like jewel dog things, what the fuck ever they were, one of our members decided to like walk around like a back of a tree, the fallen tree, and like rest or whatever. And earlier that day, we had seen a giant green ape that just disappeared in front of our eyes. So the only thing we can assume is that said giant green ape, the ape that we like arm off of, came back, killed them,
What
and then we decided to book it.
and the lion in front of you is like, what color gems were on him?
There was amethyst, there was ruby, there was
No,
was
what-
there-
No, on the one that
gold?
disappeared, right?
No, there was no gems on him.
Yes, there was.
No, there were.
Green?
I don't.
Uh,
Surus wasn't.
So
there.
it had amber gems on it.
Well, amber gems.
Oh wait, sorry, it had diamond. I don't know why those are mixed up on this sheet, but that should definitely be reversed.
And we cut its
Um,
arm
diamond.
off.
Yeah, but and he says, so it was a teleporter then. You gotta be careful with those.
Yeah, no, he murdered one of our people, and then we're like, let's not fuck with that, and run
Teleporting
away.
ape with one arm.
Yeah, Yeah, we dealt with that one. Yeah, we booked it after we discovered he was dead. We're like, we shouldn't stick around here anymore, and we left. We did find like a curious place in there, but I don't want to run into Green Ape that smashed man on ground. No, I'm okay. However, we're gonna have probably plenty of other opportunities to go back down if you wish to observe things like that.
I would love to study the source.
Avoid?
You found the source?
No, we haven't.
The One
The
Ring.
source is probably originated around that
But
area, but who knows?
You said you found something weird down there, and he's talking about a source.
Well, that's a good possibility.
Weird. I don't know if the rest of my crew would like me to play
If we're
Wolf
serious
what we
about trying
found
to
down
find
there.
a cure, we should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, we did find a weird place. It wasn't the best place to be either. I can't divulge
You
it.
didn't have to bring any samples back, did you?
We brought a couple things back. They're on the people
Interested
with
to
the,
look
on
at
the
those.
ship. So you can ask around people on the ship. Anyways, but thing is, you want to avoid the lasers that come out of the crystals when there's sun up. Yeah. We learned that.
Yeah, no,
hard
we
way,
build a bunch of like stone huts all over the place so that on a sunny day we can hide in them.
Lasers bad.
We just booked it for like a place that looked like it was shaded.
You get like his eyes just get wider and wider as he like. You gather he thinks you're probably suicidal.
We're not suicidal. We just had no idea of like what was like down there and stuff. However, until like the giant laser that filtered through the crystal just burned something in front of us, and we're like, no.
Curiosity is where
So-
everything begins.
And that's when everyone assumes. I'm not going to say that because then people would assume that I'm a witch. But I'm not a witch. I'm a druid. And everyone doesn't fucking know the difference.
She
between a witch and a
she
druid.
is by the
Anyways,
way,
Oh,
the
shit, I thought
captain.
you were a witch.
She is the captain of our ship.
I'm not a witch.
She is Captain Star Witch.
Cats.
I'm
The
not a witch.
constellations.
Yeah.
So, over the course of the rest of the day, you have this conversation, but he does eventually like, I only have so much information. Someone else here can fill you in better.
One last
But
quick
he
question.
does like very much not want you to stop the blockade.
Very well. Can I ask you one more question?
Go ahead.
Do you have any idea why they just haven't eradicated you all yet? What seems
They
like the
need
fastest
us to-
way to get rid of that.
Because they need us.
Work.
Yeah.
Okay, but like, if we move said city away from the towers and they have no longer have a use for you, I don't know what else what would I do not want to think about what they would do to you. Not that living with your diseases.
He kind of looks you with like a doomed resignation in his eyes, and he says,
He's like, I'm aware.
"That would
basically.
work." He's like, he's basically like, "I know,
He's like, I
but
want
it's still
that. I
worth
don't wanna
fighting
live
for."
like I mean, I'm down for moving because if they do end up, not that I want them to learn, that's just flip. But the disease does seem very painful and not a pleasant one at all.
So
Honestly, it doesn't really hurt, but you just eventually start forgetting things, and beyond that, well, you've seen some of it.
Do you slowly lose your mind? Wait a second. That be connected to that? Hold on.
wait, here's the question. You must have some plan already in place for this, otherwise you wouldn't have spoken of it.
He says, I don't have a plan, but I've heard some of the top guys. They've got something special soon.
If you
so-
can trust us, I would like to know more.
Like I said, I can get you in a meeting with someone, but it will be tomorrow.
Is that okay, Captain Starwitch?
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. But
Should we have more of our
So-
group with us?
yeah, we should probably bring everyone. Oh, at least we should take this up for a vote amongst like the crew in general, and then if the majority says yes, then we can come back out and then like figure out how to help them. But I cannot say for the entirety of the group. I have no idea if they would, but personally, I'd help myself, even without the entire crew. However, I have a question. If you do slowly lose your mind with this, do you slowly like start becoming a little crazy, irrational, with this disease?
I mean, you saw it with Jenkins earlier. They get real quiet and start staring off into space. And once they're fully gone, they go feral. And well, the best we can tell, we've seen some people who have it happen to them while we're out, and they seem to grab the nearest person to them and drag them deeper in.
I see.
Sure, so it's
I'm
almost
gonna have
like
to
it wants
ask
spread, but it's not
about-
spreading. So
Because well, that symptom is very much similar to an end resultish to my sister's disease, and that disease originated, or is said to originate from a certain town.
and you said they tend to, once they're fully gone, just go to the west.
Yeah, west of us is the towers.
And do
They
just
tend
go on
to-
their own accord, or is it the?
Yeah, they just seem to snap one day, grab someone, and try and take them with them.
But yeah, no, we'd love to help. Once again, I'm bringing it up for a vote amongst my crew, but I feel like the majority of them would say yes to helping you guys out. But yeah.
I'm willing to bet the goblin would be especially interested in liberating companions.
Yeah. So is there like enough time in the day that I can quickly go up ask the apothecary dude about like this similarity between the two diseases?
Yeah, there'd be enough time to get like if you detail the kind of cursory bits of what you know.
But
Give me I would say
It's a
Josh.
Like,
yeah, I saw. We will discuss after, just so that I don't have
okay.
to split my mind on like two questions here.
sure.
Um,
My bad.
No problem.
Don't hate me. I'm sorry.
I drag
But-
Josh along as well to like introduce them. Be like, so we might get along, but also I need this information.
Josh, do you have proficiency in the medicine skill?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and give
So
me an
do I.
alchemist tools check with advantage.
Sorry, what check?
Alchemist supplies. All right. So this particular instance of the curse, they all. So each land curses differently. They all attempt to turn the people in them into more of what is in the cursed land. It's kind of like being in there changes whatever's there to a certain template, almost. This particular one sounds similar to something you've heard before. You were a bit closer to the origin of this one actually like only a city or two away in terms of travel of where the origination of this disease was, in the city of Turin. You, having at least started your journey in Nastad, which is, give or take, a week or two of travel away from Turin. This particular instance sounds kind of like what happens to people who enter into the Singing Forest. They eventually, and it's not so much common knowledge further north because it is not spreading very quickly, and the results take a while to get there. But eventually, the people who contract this, what you know of it, Cecilia, is they bruise, they begin to they go deaf, and then they enter into kind of like a humming, catatonic state, in which they don't really interact with people. Eventually, they seem, and this is more common down in Turin, where more people are likely to contract this. They almost seem to fade, not physically, but mentally. Eventually, they seem to stop humming. Their eyes kind of dull in a way that suggests there's nothing behind them anymore, before eventually dropping dead. And their bodies dissolve.
So quite a few symptoms shared with what's going on here. A little different.
Yes, so essentially is we need to find the source of each of these kind of curse/diseases and either reverse it or stop it.
Look like we're going back into the forest.
Interesting.
Do we know if the forest has been spreading at all?
Give me a history check.
Just in the forest, or that's the forest.
You've not looked into this. It might take you a day or two of research to find anything about it. But off the top of your head, you know nothing about whether these are growing.
I had another question. Do I know why they have been gathering this crystal or whatever? I assume
It is used in. It can be used as magical components quite often. The gems of the creatures specifically can often be used as like the diamond/gem components of spells. The trees themselves often act as conduits of energy for things like the cores of staves and wands and crystal balls and that kind of thing.
the city afloat?
No. These are the things that keep the cities afloat is old tech.
Oh, okay.
Like pre-cursed lands, pre-cataclysm kind
Stuff
of.
barely anyone knows anything about.
Yeah, they know how to work it, but they don't know how to make it.
So, like, what you're saying is, if I had taken a piece of crystal from, say, crystal area, I could have, like, saved it somewhere and then somehow made that into a staff?
So, for instance, you could use them as like a component for making a spell focus or things like that. Yeah.
Unfortunate.
If they are gathering these ingredients for magical purposes, then the crystal itself isn't probably what is spreading. It's the forest itself being in it.
Say that the forest survived. That's a weird concept.
So more than likely, everyone here isn't spreading the disease at all to anyone. It's just that they keep going back into the forest because they need their slaves, basically, to gather materials for them.
So if the forest is trying to spread? then it would make sense for said disease or organism to be within the hosts or whatnot in order to spread further, if anything.
It is odd that they make their way back west once they're fully infected.
Well, don't we know like the towers like in the middle, like of all the foresty kind of area?
What's that?
Don't we know like when they drag it back that there's like a central, basically a location where the forest started, like where the tower is? Where am I stupid?
Sorry, you cut in and out during that, so I couldn't quite.
Dang it! I'll just type it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I wanted to also collect some of the crystal I'm taking samples from
Okay.
for further use because I'm pretty confident this isn't what's spreading.
Yeah, you do gather as you kind of like chip it off of his shoulder. He flinches as if he's feeling it.
Okay.
But he doesn't like stop you.
Just more crystal?
How deep do you dig?
If it's hurting, I'm not too deep. Unless he
Yeah.
lets me. I'll ask him.
This is rude, man.
Give me a general charisma check. Yeah, you aren't so much persuading him. It doesn't sound like you're just asking. So it is
Yeah, basically.
how much he likes you, essentially. How much he feels comfortable.
Guy.
Oh yeah, you are with a 15. He's willing to go for a bit. See how far he can take.
Just let me know if you want me to stop.
All right. So you go. I don't know.
Central location of it.
So the Crystal Towers is not a tower. The name refers to the giant like redwood-esque trees that are made of crystal, hence the towers. If you're thinking about the spire, which is located south of Holmberg, where a few of the characters are from, that might be what you're thinking of in terms of a large tower in the center of a cursed land.
Yeah, I've seen about. Do we know if there's an origin to this crystal forest? Just like a location that's known for like either.
Nobody knows too much about the center of the Crystal Forest. People who go in there don't come back.
That's a
probably the
challenge.
source, then.
But also, we did find. In
What's that?
origin, basically, were there monsters coming out of a portal like area? So like.
There were earth elementals flooding out of a portal there.
Right. Anyways.
What was that?
My brain was like, oh, we could just follow like start our way through Snake Tunnel and just like work our way to the origins of without getting wasted.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while she's typing, Josh, yeah, he lets you keep going, and you go like first getting the surface level stuff that is sticking out further than skin normally would, even like growths almost out of him. You trim that down on like his upper arm, and you dig down. And at this point, he like visibly uncomfortable, but is gritting his teeth. Get down into him, and it is still crystal. Do you keep going?
No, I'll stop there. If it's at the level where the skin is.
Yeah, it is like an inch past the skin. It's still
Can I tell
crystal.
If it's taking over the body, or is it just growing off of it?
It is well, if it is an inch underneath the skin,
Yeah.
it is like it is inside of his body now. It is
Right,
not
so
just
it's growing
surface
from
level.
within, probably. Oh, maybe. I see. Do you feel any pain when it's spreading?
No, not really. It's slow enough that we don't. At least for me, it's slow enough that I don't notice it. Not on a day-by-day basis, at least.
There it was boring through your body, you would probably feel a large amount of pain. So I'm just assuming it's taking over your body.
That's a comforting
Try not to
thought.
think about it.
Yeah, I will try not to.
Oh, I have one last question. There might be a few more.
Okay.
Has anybody inhibited any of these magical effects, such as teleporting?
There's some that can, though they seem to go quicker.
That's when they're further going to.
Generally, you need to be pretty covered by then, and it seems to make it go faster, so most people don't try to.
Could be quite
Been
useful
infected
if we
by
could
that?
get it under control.
Yeah, don't I know it, but
Well, I'll try my best.
what were you saying, Scarlett?
Wondering if any guards have been affected by that. Because since the guards are in that area, should they be in what is considered close contact?
They,
Like all the
yeah, I think I got most of that. She's asking if the guards were who are in constant close proximity to these people if they get infected. He says they generally they don't keep a guard on this job for more than a week before they swap them out.
So
It's
does
been a
mean
bit weird
eventually-
with the blockade recently, but even then they don't try and keep them for too long.
So does that mean eventually that that someone did get infected somewhere along the way?
He kind of scoffs for a second, says, or just keeps everyone convinced.
Sure. I'm not gonna argue with that logic.
What type of sample is this? Or color crystal?
Sapphire.
Sapphire.
Second.
I mean, that's all up to you guys, Scarlett. You guys can struggle wherever you want to. I think Big is out, though. I'm sure Big is out.
Yeah.
What?
All right,
You don't
for
want to go
the-
back into the forest?
For the sake of the rest of the party, do we all want to say that it is the next day where you have arranged a meeting so that everyone else may be present?
Yeah.
Oh, will I be doing things?
You could have come here at any point. We had Scarlet
How would I
jump in.
know? As a character?
Yeah,
How-
that's the order.
There was a runner sent to the ship after everyone
yeah.
was done working.
There was even an in-character time
Oh.
at which anybody could have joined.
Alien,
I wasn't aware.
alien.
Yeah?
The freaking door when you leave the room.
Oh, okay. What
So-
we
Before we leave, I would
doing?
just like to
Oh.
go around and ask if any other people would give me different samples of the different colors.
Yeah.
I'd say with your 15 charisma roll there, that you have a likable personality, enough so that some people are willing. You get a piece of each.
Oh, awesome.
Let me add you to. So let me just delete the names who have access to this and just say all players because that seems more reasonable. There we go. You should have access to a thing under a tab called Creature
Wait,
Templates.
Wait, Big?
Awesome.
Big! Big!
What's the birthday mascot?
Big!
Bajou.
He's sleeping. Spam him.
Oh.
He's dead.
It is the only.
Give him. Give him the spumoni.
Hold on, I'm checking out how to do this.
Blight, did I ruin all your plans again?
I mean, I set up all this ship DC stuff, and now we're helping the rebellion.
It doesn't mean we're not. It doesn't mean we're not gonna use it because
It doesn't. It
What-
doesn't.
what-
I'm perfectly fine with this because I know eventually it will get used.
well, no. Like here's my thought out of character. Now in character, I don't know if Cirrus would ever suggest this, but if they're relying on us to run the blockade and get their allies, and them not having those allies would fuck their military ability to resist any kind of incursion to move, then maybe our best thing is to run the blockade and to assist things, if you catch my meaning.
Ah, I think I catch your meaning.
Would we be condemning a lot of people to death? Yes.
Maybe.
Would we not be doing that anyway?
Well,
I'm not sure.
one
we
way or
can
another,
always,
people
like,
die in
work
war,
on
right?
Both sides, though. So, like, what I was thinking is getting them to like stop the blockade, but like also like.
Well, so the fears of the
moving
people.
city.
The fears of the people in the camp is that if the blockade stops, all of the power, the military power currently dealing with that, comes to
Mhm.
then back and deal with them.
So what if like we move it? I was going to be like, oh, we could split up, but that never fucking works with the party. Someone ends up dying. Or
I
multiple
mean,
people ends up
the
dying.
other thing is, if you just move the city without changing who's in power, the city's just going to move itself back.
Yeah, like
Oh,
if we're
that's true.
committing to this, it's Viva la Revolution!
Yeah.
Assassination. Beefing for dead of the ship.
Oh, should I make some poison?
No.
See, the
I
thing,
mean, that may come in helpful eventually, but
Just
like,
let me know.
has anyone introduced him to the crazy doctor on the ship? I don't.
What's that?
Has anyone introduced him to the crazy doctor on the ship at all?
I think
he's met him.
the thing,
There's a very unsettlingly,
Yeah, madam. It's
yeah.
not like one-on-one.
I'm just,
yeah, you
just,
haven't faced his death stare and with you and him alone in a room.
I'm
We'd be really good friends, actually.
also Josh. I too am proficient and have an herbalism kit.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's gotten
Close.
her.
Well, my thing was
Just
more
as a
like
heads up for the lot of you, for when you're traveling on land, I do have a system for like finding herbs specifically for alchemical and like poison things that you could sell if you didn't want to even use. And all of you have herbalism kit proficiency, which I think is what you would need to look for herbs.
well, so like my
Don't.
thing was more like I thought it would play into like making drinks and things like tea or like
Yeah.
herbal concoctions that maybe just made you feel a little better, like that
You
kind
know,
of thing.
big snoring in the background.
Meanwhile, big.
I'm just gonna throw him in the drunk tank. That works.
I love our
He's
AFK.
literally snoring.
Yeah, he is.
There we go. It is fierce snoring directly into the mic. He's like
That is-
he's using his tablet as a pillow for sure.
That is hilarious.
You were saying alien? Before I interrupted you by pointing out the big was snoring into his mic.
I don't remember.
Hello? Your herbalism kit would go into making
Oh yeah,
teas
mine
or
mine was more
drinks or
like
things.
along the lines of I like to comfort people, which I think is the opposite of the other herbalism kit in play. But it could be a source of much discussion. Like, you know, I tried this one tea one time, and the guy had a severe stomach ache.
He shat his stomach out.
I mean,
He had
technically,
diarrhea
he's
for like 4 weeks. Like it was
Explosive. It was bad.
I would
I
very
mean-
much like
Dude.
to experience this.
Imagine fantasy explosive diarrhea though, in that you shit and it literally like lights your your house on fire because it was a fireball.
What are you talking about? Liquid lava shits.
every session, or like towards the end of every session, we always come along with the like topic of shit.
Yeah, well.
Captain Starwitch and the poopy.
I still think we should have kept the cursed barrel just a second.
The what?
God, the cursed
How much
barrel.
money? We could like just chop up the cursed barrel like into small portions, because you only need like a small portion to like make someone's entire fucking existence hell. But so like, I mean, we could make money off of that, but you guys decided to throw it overboard. You know the one that Big decided to like stay in for like months.
I might tell with the code.
So, I don't know how long I have everyone else in the group for. Josh, you said you might be heading out soon.
You've got me forever, Blight.
So, no 24-hour stream.
Why?
Yeah.
Not for me, at least.
Oh, you know,
Coward!
stream should be.
I
Super
will still be
coward.
streaming. No one can stop me.
Coward!
But next session, we will be picking up with everyone at a meeting in the a meeting in the Warren with the leadership, or at least someone higher up in the chain of the rebellion of La Résistance.
The name of this entire thing should just be Revolution? Question mark?
Everyone knows that the next session title is Viva la Résistance.
Alright.
It took me 2 sessions to make the party communist.
To be fair, Alien, this and the message were like the two I was prepared to run.
Oh, okay, so I really helped you out.
Yeah, one or the other. It was what I was expecting you guys to lean towards.
Right.
I figured you guys would lean in this direction if you looked into it. I just wasn't sure if you were going to look into it before you left town.
Like, here was my thing. It was like, it's here. It's obviously important. And it was too cool for me to not be like, I kind of want to see what's here. Right? Like that was literally it. I wasn't trying to fuck everything else over. I was just like, I like this. This looks cool.
Yeah. And, the last thing I want to do is be like, well, you've already decided on a thing, so I'm just going to close all other doors.
And I mean, it's like I said,
zoom you through to where you thought you wanted to go.
And I honestly thought I would get there and just see like rabble and things like that and be like, oh, okay. But then like the guard kind of provoked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Once we cancel you. Save prey for when you're in stream? Okay. So wait. Are we done?
I think we are, well, I don't know, because we're going to have 3 people.
If
Oh,
everyone
then,
wants to keep going, I'll stay around. I'll just.
I want to keep going.
Oh, I mean, if we got 4 people, I'll
Not
keep
for, like,
going.
20 more minutes, which isn't a lot.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's gonna be-
we can
Yeah,
at least
Say I
get
swing my sword.
a bit into I don't know if there's any combat necessarily happening in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime
not?
soon.
My thing is, we don't know Nakin's or Big's opinion of.
I'm
true.
fairly certain Big is gonna be all for.
I agree.
Yeah, just
knowing Big.
just knowing Big, he's like revolution,
But like,
Rebel
none
without
of the
a cause?
characters actually know what's going on,
right? Which is a problem because
so we have no idea what their characters are going to say.
yes, but we do know we have the majority vote of the ship already. Well, Napkin's not here, so technically, if everybody
Blade's
shows
character
up,
doesn't know either.
Yeah, my character doesn't know.
right? But like, I was fully expecting like one person not to show up. But if everyone does, we're tied. And I'm fairly certain Big is gonna be down.
I'd be surprised if he's not.
I would be considerably surprised. But beyond that,
We can finish off the rest
like
of the city.
like Blade, would you like to spend the next 20 minutes joining us and having this conversation, so that we can have that going?
Sure.
So that way we're not throwing Blight completely for a loop next time.
Yeah.
Surprise, what?
So, you show up the next day.
Hi.
Or rather, what really happens is that night, as you guys go back, you are met by a messenger from the guards,
Hello.
who tells you they are ready to give you your message.
Oh.
Looks like we need to
Oh,
decide
boy.
soon.
Yeah, it definitely looks
that-
like we need to.
That they don't have it quite ready yet, but that they will have it ready in the morning when it is expected you guys to set out anyways.
Wow, for something so urgent, they're very slow.
Well, you guys, no, they don't expect you to fly at night because the ships can't.
Oh, right, we just talked to them, didn't we?
Yep.
Or they did.
So
The guards you talked to about a job about 3 days ago,
Oh,
and they got the council together to like decide on what to do and whether it's a smart idea to trust you all to go get a message out to Sidmouth is essentially what that was.
that would take a while.
But yeah, they will have the message ready in the morning.
the real question I have is, how do the rest of the poor feel here, Amethyst or Scarlet?
In terms of like
How do they feel?
with the situation with the Warren, or
Yeah.
like you gather a general sense of like sort of Damocles you're next kind of feeling. Like it's only a matter of time. They don't want like they have loved ones who are in there. They don't want to be part of what is happening in there
So
necessarily,
we could.
and they get the feeling like it's only a matter of time before they are.
So here's the problem.
What he said.
So here's and I'm gonna say this at our morning meal thing here, or our night when we get the thing. Basically, as soon as we get this, if that is the case, then we can affect change now. We could. We could have a majority support here and overthrow the current rules and then do the blockade run to try and get, because like the other town has this agreement with this town, not with specifically like the guard captain, right? Or like is the agreement to the mayor or to like the town? Like
Well, the town is ruled by a council, so if it is an agreement with anyone, it's likely to the council.
it's to the
It is
council.
ruled by a council of it's a split between guild, like some of the larger guilds, like the blacksmith guilds, the arcanist guild, so on and so forth, right? As well as the kind of military force in town has a spot there. And that is kind of where it is. It's just a council made up of those bodies.
So we need to find out where each of them stand and who needs to be replaced.
Right, because we could affect with a significant majority of the town, where I'm guessing we would lose the artisans and like the crafters and the bougie fucks, right? But we would have not only the rebellious, discontented Warren, but if the general populace could be riled up, then political change could be motivated to the point to where we're not putting innocent lives at risk, and we're liberating them from, well, an otherwise shitty existence.
Does the civil populace blight know that do they think that it's infectious?
Super.
Super infectious.
I mean, like, the general idea around town is that prolonged exposure to people like this will turn you into them.
Right. I don't specifically know that because I haven't seen proof.
Yeah. Your experiments, as far as you know, have led you to the fact that it is not contagious, but you haven't looked at someone who's lived with them for months to know 100% sure.
Well, would I have been able, when we go back the next day, I could ask if they have seen any changes in someone that has not?
Scarlet, you do not know if you don't know if there are sympathetic bodies in the guard or not. I don't know if that was a question to the group or me or not, but I figured I'd throw my...
I mean, let's be real here. The guard is drawn from the populace as well. We can easily expect part of the guard to be sympathetic. The question is, are they sympathetic, or the reasoning why, and how to pull that string.
I mean, if we could prove that it wasn't as infectious as people believe and that they've been lied to, that would just cause a huge uproar by itself.
You are certain this is not infectious?
Not for short periods of time. I would love to confine a person that's not infected and a person that is, and that we could see over time. That would be the best way. However, we could also
No problem,
ask
I would volunteer, but yeah. So, now I guess slipping back into in character, what do we want to do? Blade, you're here now, I'm assuming, and
yes, I am here.
I mean, I'm down for a revolution.
I mean, I despise people being trapped here for no reason other than people's greed.
Yeah.
People deserve a chance at life.
I mean, it's like a similar situation.
I
that I
agree.
was, yeah, it's a similar situation that I was in. Family were part of an aristocratic area. They took me in. Everyone thought that they were great, but they were not. Not at all.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a real hard time understanding a single thing she said.
I can't help you there, okay?
I am also struggling to
Your mic was a little not great then.
It was a little not great and the enunciation was not picked up.
It was unfortunate, but fact.
You could try again and hope that it fixed, because like I said, it was just right then. Normally I'm not having a trouble hearing you.
I'm not trying to be mean, Scarlet. I'm just saying, like, when I can't hear you, I can't hear you.
Yeah, no. It's just how it is.
Should start a pool for, like, Scarlet.
GoFundMe?
Yeah. GoFundMe.
You know what? Itcher's going to take some of the onyx sample he has and he's going to stab himself with it.
All right. How deep?
Not too deep.
All right, go ahead and take a piercing damage. But
That'll do
yeah,
it.
you go and you give yourself a little bit of a dig with it, enough to draw blood, and you erupt in onyx crystals now.
I'm
You
just dead. Okay, I'm
explode.
gonna make a character.
Yeah. New character time. Let's go now.
Hell yeah.
Can I feel anything right away?
Are you leaving it in or are you
Yes.
pulling it out? Okay. Yeah, you just kind of jab that thing in there and watch it.
I'm gonna be like, itcher.
Oh, don't worry. I experiment like this all the time.
You know, this
Uh,
doesn't. I don't think this
I
helps
realize.
dictate if this is infectious. Is the problem?
Well, I'm doing it for plenty of reasons.
Itcher, roll me a D100 real quick.
Oh fuck!
Yo, can I
Second
roll a
player character
D50 and
death?
you roll a D50?
Can we each just roll like D25s?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. So that he can't roll a 1.
So you stick it in, and it kind of lodges into you. You watch it for about a minute. Nothing seems to be happening immediately.
Wait, can I cast detect disease or poison basically on it?
Yeah.
When I recall, it applies into disease or poison.
Disease.
Or at least this specific one.
Why did I do that? Dang it.
So for you can poisonous creatures. It tells you poisonous creatures? Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that one. I guess you just sense the poison in them.
Yeah.
Well, and diseases. I would say, let me think here. You do sense a disease in him.
Oh fuck!
Uh-oh.
Wait, who is she doing this on?
Everyone within 30 feet, but
Yep.
specifically Itcher.
Specifically. Yep.
Ah.
Can I tell what disease it is? Because I don't know if he's like got some other disease that I don't know about.
COVID.
I don't know if sex
So-
I don't know if it's STDs or anything.
You do get you can also identify the kind of poisonous creature or disease in each case. I don't know that you would know exactly what this disease is, though you would be able to know its nature, I suppose would be the best way to. It is a symbiote would be the best way to put the disease.
So what?
It seems to be actively changing him and his physiology, but also it seems almost confused about what it's doing. It seems to want to change him into something else, but in two different directions, which is turning him into what he is right now.
Everything okay?
Yeah, disease. Sir?
My guy's got the symbiote, the venom symbiote.
He's Venom.
You got
Venom.
like some
Venom,
some melody.
Ethan.
It seems very confused at like what direction it wishes to like pull your body into. So
Oh, it's probably nothing.
Fascinating.
it's probably nothing, as he stabs himself with a protective piece of crystal from said woods that infect people.
Mm-hmm, get me
Yeah,
diseases.
and given like as he's pulled it out for a second now. You would gather like a wound in his forearm. Like he might have even cut a fairly large vein. Didn't even care. Pulled out the shard. Like 15 seconds later, it's not bleeding.
how now? Like, you're not telling me something, or is it the disease from the crystal?
Oh no, I have very good regenerative ability.
I bet you do, buddy.
So
Is there
I
anything
can't
else?
see like any of the crystals spread right in my cut or anything.
No.
I stick it back in there.
All right, go ahead and roll me a d100 if you would.
Fucking stabbing yourself.
All right. So you go for the second time.
Perhaps we shouldn't be doing this, Itcher.
You say, as he jabs the crystal into his arm, and the arm, again, he's already done it, but he jabs the crystal into his arm, and you see the flesh kind of like writhe and warp around where it is. And then, just like before you can pull it back, Itcher, the flesh that is like writhing and contorting away from it all shoots forward, wraps around it, and drags it into your arm, and it is gone.
And we all just saw that, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn to the other two. Just,
Surgery time! I pull my glaive out.
Yeah, would
huh.
I know, Blight, that with my past that I would be able to regrow limbs?
So it's a bit of an open secret with the group at the moment, and out of character common knowledge. Trolls quite often take on properties of magical things nearby them. You've seen cases of trolls that, living near, say, lava, gain a resistance to fire and just eternally burn.
Yeah, so so addressing him as such is going to be like, was that like diseasey or like half ogre-y?
Unsure.
Yeah.
Or half orky?
Can I like?
Because like I'll cut your arm off right now if it's orky. You know what I'm saying?
I'm debating. It's definitely not orky.
Definitely not
Can I
orky.
cast this? Yeah, can I cast the same like spell on him again to see if like the disease has progressed at all?
Yeah. So you
I'll
you
be
cast
right
it
back,
again.
but if he decides he wants it, I'll cut his fucking arm off.
Okay. You cast it again. The disease that was pulled in 2 ways now seems to be pulled in 3.
The fuck kind of fuckery is this shit? Sir, you gotta fucking
Disease
explain
printer.
yourself.
Troll disease printer.
What the flying fuckery?
Mistake has been made.
It's okay. I have a very interesting constitution. Just don't try thinking about it.
What do you mean don't try thinking about it? I'm trying to see if you're diseased so I know if I'm gonna die within a month or so.
Can you roll me one more D100, Josh?
Oh god.
Okay. So you see as you're talking, like Itcher doesn't seem to notice it as he's gesturing with his hands and like talking to you. The left arm that he poked it into is kind of like slowly bursting with black crystals as they just push out of his flesh, and you can see like open weeping wounds.
Does that hurt?
Oh,
Not as much as you would think.
sir.
Um,
Well, if it's bursting with wounds, that means he's taking damage, right?
he is bleeding out of them for sure.
They said my transformation would be agonizing.
Okay, so like now the symbiote is like 3 different ways. So I do not know if
It is now one way.
now it's one way. Okay, now it's one way. And
Cut my
it's,
arm
I'm assuming that he's now infected himself with the crystal. So now we have the fun experience of trying to find a cure for this, helping them with the Diva level revolution.
So
And
you
use all
say
the-
cut your arm off though?
Yeah, if I would heard that it's 1 now, then I'm 1. Yeah, I got my arm.
Okay, yeah. The Loxodon behind you whips his spear around and just arm clean off, slams into the floor, it is still twitching, and the crystals continue to grow out of it. I need everyone to give. Oh, you go up and poke it? I need everyone to give me a dex save except for you, who gives me one at disadvantage.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it going to try to launch itself at us?
Hey!
Oh,
Hey!
Jesus Christ.
The Loxodon's like, nah, fuck
Hey,
this
I have
shit.
a question. Does inspiration give advantage?
Inspiration can be
Hey,
used
you
to
got the same
re-roll
thing.
a roll.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
I wasn't,
God.
I wasn't having that shit. That's all I'm
Something
saying.
tells me I'm getting COVID.
All
So,
right.
like, what I'm
so-
saying is, we have
I had
to
grave
do
air.
this roll.
So the arm explodes
Ew.
into a shower of lethal shrapnel. Itcher, you manage to like you poke it and you see like the beginning of it swelling past what it was, and you like whip around, grab a chair, and put it between you and the arm as everyone else. Sir is the only person who manages to die for cover in time. Everyone takes 11 piercing damage, except for those who succeed and take half, which is Josh and Alien.
I swear to God, if you just infected everyone here
Yeah,
with your
going to
goddamn
right away
disease,
pull the crystals out if there's any in their bodies.
Everyone who failed to save for sure has some in them.
fucking
Give me
drastically
give me a
to-
medicine check. Give me a medicine check.
I'm gonna do a medicine check on myself.
Okay.
Alright, who
Yeah,
else needs their arms
you-
cut off?
So you see a few of them are just kind of like lodged in exposed parts of your body. Some of them have cut through clothing.
Damn
But
it,
you
really pair.
you manage to find all of the ones that are in you. And Josh, you go up to Cecilia and manage to. Yep, everyone rolling above 20. Like everyone's clear of pieces stuck in them.
No more COVID.
No more COVID.
Bad COVID.
to fucking
And you
kill
do manage to find one for each wound.
Yay.
So none of them disappeared inside of
I
anyone,
took
as far
11
as you
damage.
know. Yes, or no?
No,
you,
I took 1
yes,
damage.
you took 11.
No, I took 1.
going to cast it
I just
again
healed
one more
myself.
time.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
every-
Oh, okay, got it.
So if I can can I detect diseases like from everyone in 30 feet?
Yeah.
Because if so, I'm just gonna cast it on everyone in the fucking room to make sure.
It would still be going, though I would need you to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you maintain concentration on it.
Constitution. Okay.
You're looking to beat a 10. Oh yeah, you're fine. You still have the detect poison and disease from before. Nobody seems to be diseased or anything, except for what was already in Itcher, which is back to fighting in two
Just
directions.
undiseased ourselves in like half a second.
Yeah, we were like, no.
You're fucking lucky you did not manage
You're
to
lucky
infect
that I
anyone
can
else on
keep
this
your
shit.
scalpel.
Otherwise, I would have kicked your ass.
Yeah, I should have probably done that in more of a contained area.
You probably should have stabbed yourself with it in the first fucking place. Now we have to. So listen to all the shit we're gonna have to do now within half a month. Is Viva Revolution to help these people. Go down, somehow find like the source of this, know how to reverse said source of this, and then cure you so you don't infect
Would be
anyone
very
else
helpful
within
with
the shit.
experimentations if I knew how to reverse. these
Yeah.
problems.
Maybe you shouldn't have fucking stabbed yourself with it in the first place.
It's okay.
Everybody
It's
just
Everything
rolled
was
above
expected except for my arm
19.
exploding. That was interesting.
It
Literal
was.
brag.
And Itcher, you can feel your arm already itching at the stump, where like the upper forearm has just
Weird
been
thing.
completely covered. And you know, you gather it'll probably be about a week before that's back.
Oh, that's going to be annoying not having an arm for a while.
Be like,
So the thing
sorry,
is,
friend,
which
but
one do we do first?
I think now we have like a protocol. We need a name for like when I have to like quickly cut off your arm or something.
I like cut off my arm.
The disease is still in him. So
No, we call it like Operation.
You said there was 2 diseases back, right?
Operation Obsidian. No, basically, your body is currently trying to fight it, and then there's disease. So you have symbiotes. So it's pulling it in
Went
two
from
different
1 to
directions.
2, correct?
Yep, it
You
did.
don't
But
need
that
to
doesn't
worry
mean
about the
it's
rest,
gone.
it's fine.
No, it's not. Do not say it's fucking fine.
Wait, so how many diseases do you normally have, like, cultivating in you?
Well, actually, that's the first time I actually knew.
Oh.
But
Oh
2.
my god.
But, so, there's been one disease in him, is what you're saying.
When he stabbed himself, and I
So,
created
before he stabbed himself, was there 1 or 2?
I have no idea. I didn't cast this disease on him. The detect disease thing.
You
I didn't
should've.
think I needed to. I did.
I believe you casted it in the tent, right? Or no. Maybe you. Maybe I was mistaken.
Cast it as soon as he stabbed himself with the obsidian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was before the stone went into him, and then it was a single disease that seemed to be conflicted on what it was trying to do.
Okay, so it's back to 2, but I don't want to take the risk of
I will be
him.
continuing studying this, don't worry, but is there anywhere on the ship where I could do these experiments? Usually away from other people would be the best.
Probably the engine room.
Well, I don't really want to risk damaging the engine.
I mean,
No,
that's
it
the only
explodes again.
room that isn't, like, the captain's quarters. And given they all fought over it, I doubt that's going to be given.
Yeah, probably not. I'll just have to find an open area sometimes.
Saying is, I kind of don't want to risk everyone on the ship if you
No, don't
use
worry. I'll
the
do it
pods
off the
that
ship
this
from
is.
now on. That could have ended very poorly.
I think
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with what happened.
What the fuck do you mean there's nothing wrong with what happened?
There's nothing wrong with what happened.
He
Exactly what I said.
infected everyone. What are you...
I really didn't expect it to explode.
Yeah, it was just a mistake. Stuff happens.
I know it could have ended everyone's lives and all, but I'll be more careful from now on. I promise.
Yeah.
Slowly, I'm just
But-
crouching on the floor, holding my head because I'm talking to some people that don't understand, and I'm just like, I'm gonna murder one of you eventually. I swear to God.
What's the matter, Captain
Listen, what I'm
Star Witch?
You guys don't understand. He could have.
Could have, but didn't.
Yes, that's
It
the
doesn't
point.
matter if it didn't happen.
Sure it does. You can't
Things
criminalize
could
him
have gone
for,
extremely bad. I'm not criminalizing him. All I'm saying is I'd rather him not stab himself continuously with pieces of crystal.
So before this, there was
people.
no issue with him stabbing himself. It seems almost as if because of his
He was
actions, you're
stabbing
criminalizing
himself.
him.
What I'm saying is, he stabbed himself with an infected piece of fucking crystal, which, by the way, I don't condone at all. Like the goddamn crazy-ass doctor that we have that decided he was going to chew, numbing herbs in his mouth because he seen that was okay. No, it wasn't okay. By the way,
I mean,
anyways,
that's kind of questionable.
what you did was
He
kind of
know they were
questionable.
numbing herbs.
What you just
So,
did was very questionable.
Because when it rains, it pours. There's one thing I'd like to get out of the way before we end the session for the day, because that is getting pretty late. Scarlet,
Oh, shit.
as you go to sleep that night, your mind drifts into the dark void of dreams. Only this time it's not. Now, keep in mind, your character has never had... Dreams are different here. What you would consider a dream is almost like a black waiting room, where all you can do is feel your body as if it were floating in space, but nothing to interact with. No sense of anything, just a kind of peaceful existence. And this is the same for most everyone. Nobody's ever had a dream as we would understand it. Until today.
Oh,
For
wow.
you. All you see is you see a marble below you. Blue, green, brown colors spreading across it. And as you kind of look in bits and places of it, you see features, familiar features. If nothing else, familiar as you've recently gotten a hold of a map. And you see part of that map on the marble in front of you. And as you look around,
Quick, jot it all down.
and as you look to your left and right, you see another form. You see what looks to be a large eye.
Oh, no.
The center of which seems to be facing towards the marble, which you are beginning to recognize as the world. The eye itself has a vertical slit, and it is this mishmash of every color within that slit. And as you turn a bit more, you eventually see the sun, and you see what looks to be, from far enough away, your eyes seem large enough to be able to see the sun as if it were only miles away instead of the thousands upon thousands that it is. And you see what looks to be a great ghostly serpent that surrounds the sun. And then the eye that is staring at the marble turns towards you, and you wake up with a gasp.
Hey, that's never good. Oh, shit, bro.
We've never had better reason to call her Captain Starwitch.
That's not okay. No. Why?
Because you're Captain Starwitch of the constellation.
You tell me, Stars Druid.
I feel like you could have like done that to anyone else in the ship, and he's like,
Is it Stars Druid or Stars Warlock?
Well, you know, I've been rolling that ever since she was level 2.
I'm only level 2.
Yeah, when you started your circle.
When did they start circle up level 2?
I want to.
Yep.
I want to dream,
You do dream.
but not as we dream.
No, but as everyone else dreams.
You get a special.
I don't think that
special
counts.
dream, isn't it? Stars dream, you. Fine, I gotta see a giant fucking serpent thing around the sun, which is kind of weird, and an eye that's very creepy. I don't appreciate the night. Also, why the fuck was I looking down at the ground? Hold on.
Probably not a bad omen.
Yeah, totally. Probably not.
No, probably not.
I mean,
Serpent has nothing to do with with the curses or anything going on. What does he say?
Okay. All right. So is that where we're ending, Blyticus?
That is where we're ending.